What's up? This t-shirtkings247.com. I recently researched all the other internet sites that sell shirts like we do. And by far, we are the cheapest. With us, you order 20 shirts, you get 60% off. You order 50 shirts, you get 65% off. It's hard for me to properly articulate the deal you're getting because it's so damn good. t-shirtkings247.com, 937-603-4494. Whatever you need, we bring it right to your door. 937-603-4494. Whatever you need, we bring it right to your door. What's up, though, man? Welcome to For Shits and Giggle Podcast. I'm Ahava Elian, and I'm joined by my cousin Remy G and my brother TA. And
yes, sir.
We want everybody that's in here right now. We got 4 people. It is important right now for you to hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button, because what that's going to do is just send us out into the algorithm atmosphere, and then we'll get more people in here. And make sure you comment and subscribe. Ring the bell notification so you can get alerted every time we drop. So we coming back off of an NFL weekend. We had a lot of games, a lot of interesting games, and I'm sure we'll be breaking down a lot of these games. But before we get started right into the football, I want to get a floor to my bros and tell me what game you guys enjoyed this weekend.
Hello, cousin. Before we get into that one, let me say this, because I saw that you was a sponsor for the concert this weekend. So I just want to give you a shout out for being a sponsor at the concert for T-Shirt Kings, and also give a shout out to Michael Wright and Owens Entertainment with Tommy Owens for putting on a great show and bringing a great performance to the city with Music Soul Child, Life Jennings, and Case. And also give a very special shout out to our homegirl from Dayton View, Ebony Burks, who opened up the show and did her thing. So sis did her thing, and it was a pleasure to see her perform and do a great thing being home in front of the city. And I would say Dayton View came out and supported and represented for her in a major way.
Man, Ebony did great, bro. Hey, and I seen Ebony and Nicole straight random in the hallway at the concert, and we took a picture, bro. It was so fire. We took the best picture ever, man. So I like the way Ebony came out, man, and just controlled the whole thing. She came out and said, I'm having technical difficulties, but she just seemed like she was so comfortable and right at home on stage, man. I was so proud of her, man. So, man, shout out to my bros, though, Mike Wright, T.O., and the whole crew, man. It was a good show. It was lit. I liked it.
Good stuff, man.
Yep. So now to go ahead and ask your ask your question again, and then we can get started on that. Apologize.
Well, we got people in here. Everybody that's in here, please hit the like button right now. If you in here, please hit the like button so we can keep jugging. But I do want to talk about the Baltimore Ravens first. And Lamar Jackson, bro. This is something that I continue to see over and over and over, is that Lamar Jackson builds great leads and then they lose the game anyway. And so I'm torn, man. I'm torn to try to figure out, like, what's the problem here? Is it the problem that the defense just can't stop nobody and protect the leads that Lamar is getting? Or is Lamar just like, is he not managing the game enough? Is he going too fast? Do we got an example of the tortoise and the hare, of Lamar just being the hare and just getting out to these fast starts, but then at the end of the game, he's not closing out the deal? So, I mean, who are we supposed to blame for Lamar Jackson continuing to lose games against the upper echelon teams in the NFL?
You can go ahead and go first, Bo.
Well, me personally, I think that's a great sort of launching point for the show tonight, because I think it was an excellent game. When you think about the quarterback play, I think both of them played well, but specifically around your question, where do you place the blame when you have a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter and you lose the game? And I think in the case of Baltimore, it's just specifically in that game, there's plenty of blame to go around because the defense had opportunities to make key stops and they didn't. Offense had opportunities to make big plays and milk the clock and they didn't convert. And then you had everybody. I think a lot of people are going to point to the fumble by Derrick Henry, and that was a huge momentum shift. But they
That
got the
was
ball
big.
back and still weren't able to convert. So I think all of those things play into it. But the bigger picture, I think, what gets lost in these conversations is that specifically because I know a lot of it will be Lamar can't win these games, but he blasted Buffalo last year. And it's just that he has had big time hiccups in the playoffs. But his regular season record, I mean, there's no question. He's one of the illest quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion, the best. But he's clearly had some bad games in the playoffs. But games like that Buffalo game, the entire team had opportunities to make plays and they didn't. And you had some unfortunate stuff like that fumble that sort of, it shifted momentum. They gave Buffalo life. They're at home, and it just momentum kept going. And I think that's ultimately what happened. But I wouldn't place blame solely on Lamar. I would say the whole team didn't come through when needed.
So my opinion on that situation is it's kind of like going off the comment now that's coming in from Big Bro that I look at the coaching on it because it goes back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago on the podcast. Why do teams get leads and then get conservative? So how do you expect to maintain momentum when you're no longer doing what you were doing that got you the lead? So so Buffalo stopped playing aggressively. The play calling stopped being aggressive. So when the players get aggressive, and now you get
Baltimore, bro.
The Ravens, they stop being aggressive, and when the coaching starts to get passive and non-aggressive, that takes away the momentum from the players. So now the players aren't playing aggressive on offense and playing with the same confidence. So then the defense come in and now they playing too much. And then the defense was very non-aggressive also in that prevent defense. And then all that prevent was doing was giving up. You just steadily giving up yards. So now what you allow a quarterback like Allen, which goes to any quarterback, if they got time now because you're not pressuring them, because you're in prevent defense, you're not pressuring, you're rushing three, and then you're playing all this zone coverage where you're giving up yards. Now he's able to get into a rhythm. And you started that way early. So now in the fourth quarter, you had enough time. So now you give them the opportunity to get rhythm and you take rhythm away from yourself. So I definitely think, the fumble was unfortunate that it happened. But when the fumble happened, Derrick Henry ran for what, almost 200 yards, if not 200 yards in the game?
He had almost 150 in the first half, I believe. He was killing.
Exactly. So even though he fumbled the ball, the way he had been running, because he made a mistake, do you then stop going? Do you stop going to him? Or you go back to him? Because now he's angry. He's mad that he put the ball on the ground. So the next series when you needed 3 plays to get 10 yards, you don't go to him? That just doesn't make sense to me at all. So I think a lot of that falls on the shoulders of the coaches.
I agree, but I disagree because part of that I believe Derrick Henry got some touches. There was a long third down conversion that they would have needed to get in the last possession that they had the ball. They made a pass and came up like 2 yards short. I think the play in question, in my opinion, is whether or not you go for it on fourth down. I believe in that situation, fourth down and 2, you in your own territory, you still go for it because I feel like that we can convert. And
Buffalo
they scored,
had
you
the
get the ball
momentum.
back.
They were so hot, you don't want to give.
Yeah, they were hot. I wouldn't want to give them the ball back. I understand, people want to punt, but they were giving Derrick Henry the ball. I think that's one of the issues that Baltimore is always going to have. When Derrick Henry is having a night like that, like last night or Sunday night, they running the ball So what? Any team, they're gonna put 8-9 people in the box, and they're gonna try to stop that. And I think to a large degree, Baltimore continue to do that. And you always can question coaching when the stuff don't work. That's why I don't give coaching a lot of credit. I think it's a lot more about the Jimmies and Joes and not the X's and O's. And that's even with great teams. People don't realize when Alabama was at their best, Nick Saban made bad calls.
Okay, so let me ask you. Let me ask you this, bro.
Yes, sir.
I know that they've said with Peyton Manning and probably to Tom Brady and some of these other high IQ quarterbacks,
right?
They have the option to check out of plays. They can look and see what's going on, and they have the option to change a play at the line of scrimmage in order to do what's best for the game situation.
Correct.
Do quarterbacks still have that leash? Do they still have permission to do that at the end of the game? So at the end of the game, we are in this prevent offense, I'd say, or some offense where we don't want to stop the clock to stop. So therefore, let's keep the ball on the ground so the clock can keep running. And we're in the 2-minute offense trying to run the clock out. Does the quarterback have the permission to say, nah, we ain't about to just go out 3 in a row. We about to throw this mug on second down?
Yeah, I think that it just boils down to whether or not the quarterback and the head coach have a relationship like that. And he has that sort of they have trust that he's going to be able to make the right play. But yeah, and
Lamar should Lamar Jackson have that credibility with the coaching staff to,
I think he does.
To do as he sees fit?
I think
so. How is it not his fault then? How is it not his fault if he has the permission? If they say, bro, here, you take the reins. You got the green light.
We don't know if he actually has that.
Yeah, and I don't think that Lamar Jackson made a play where you can say, so this is how I look at it, and it's subjective. Some people look at it differently. Lamar Jackson didn't make a play that was detrimental to the outcome of the game. So I can't place blame on him. He completed a pass,
but not making a play to me when I'm talking about a championship a championship quarterback, him not making a play is detrimental too, though. Like, bro, do you got it? Do you got it?
The pass on third down, though.
Bro, take over the game.
He completed the pass on third down, though. I look at it like he did what he was supposed to do. This on the wide receiver, then to convert. He gave it in the position to get upfield. The guy made the tackle. He made the play to convert and keep the chains moving. The wide receiver then didn't get there. It's just that he's an easy target because he's the MVP. He's won the MVP twice. But I can't say that it's that he's at fault for not throwing it to him and making him get the first down. Dude didn't get a first down. Derrick Henry fumbled the ball. Every time Josh Allen got the ball back, they scored.
It's not on Lamar.
And he didn't.
It's not on Lamar. Lamar did what he did, and he put his team in position to be able to win. And it's 11 men on the field. Everybody got to do their job. So if you coming down and now it's third down and your offensive linemen get beat and they get in the backfield before you can make the play and you get sacked, that's on that offensive lineman. We cannot just point blame at somebody because we said they're the star player. So it's on them. It is still a team sport, regardless of how good he is. And Lamar is arguably the best quarterback.
I like that flex.
he's
I like that flex.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's my take on Lamar. I don't think that it was to be blamed and say that it was Lamar's fault. It's unfortunate that they came up short, but there was a lot of factors that came up short because the defense allowing them Buffalo to score like they scored. How is it on Lamar when the defense don't stop them? They scored 22 points in the fourth quarter, correct? How's that on Lamar? That was another 11 men that's supposed to stop that.
Didn't score enough in order to, bro, you got to match their energy too, man. At the end of the game, I know you was up. I know you felt like you did enough, but you didn't. You have to outgunsling this other guy. You know what type of time Buffalo is on. You know they're good. You know they're capable. You know they're high octane. You got to keep your aggressiveness up for the whole game. And what Lamar did not do is he got 2 3-and-outs and gave them the ball back 2 times.
But he was
Like,
giving
bro,
the ball to an all-world running back. He was giving the ball to Derrick Henry, though.
Look, he has to close the games. I mean, the fumble wasn't his fault. None of it is actually his fault, except for me holding him to a standard where I want him to win the game, no matter what.
That's a whole nother different issue. That's a you issue. Speaking
no,
of,
it's not. It's a Lamar Jackson issue because we all want him to win. I mean, bro,
we want him to win, but you have to be realistic about what happens out there and what takes place in sport.
He has the ability to check out of the game. He can check out of the plays and make it happen.
We don't know if he has the ability, if that's the relationship that him and the coach have. We don't know that. And secondly, but what we do know is
he can audible. He was doing it all game. He checks out the plays.
So when you say they lost their aggressiveness, so when Cuz just saying that they lost their aggressiveness, that goes on play calling. So now the play calling is no longer aggressive. So like I stated earlier, that causes the players to lose aggressiveness because we're not playing the same style as what we had. I don't know. It's not just a Baltimore thing. This goes on in the NFL all the time. People get leads and then all of a sudden they become conservative and you play not to lose as opposed to win because it's like it's a rule of thumb that you're not supposed to put your foot on somebody's neck.
But
I don't know. I mean, okay, so I just don't understand the game of football because to me, I thought that the best quarterbacks in the league are given the power and are empowered by their offensive coordinators, by their coaches, by so on and so forth, in order for them
that's true.
In order for them to run the offense, bro. Like you're out there on the field, you understand the game situations. Whatever it might be, bro, you cannot go 3-and-out and give the ball back to Buffalo. You cannot do that.
But I only think
it's just a fact.
I would challenge you to think about this notion though, and I have seen this happen on both ends where it didn't work in our favor on my team and it didn't work on the opposition's team. But if you look at how that game played out, Baltimore was killing them running the ball. That's why I don't think that you can say they stopped being aggressive. Derrick Henry had broke off like 4 or 5 20-plus yard runs. The thing that changed was they kept running, but Buffalo said, we want to make you pass because if you pass the ball, stop the clock. But if you're a Ravens guy, if you're on the Ravens sideline, they're like, so what? If we get stopped 3 downs in a row, we punt, the clock is rolling. They either have to use their timeouts or our clock is running. I don't necessarily think that's losing your aggression because Derrick Henry can easily pop one of them. He didn't, so it just didn't work out. But they were killing running the ball.
But at some point in time, if you stuff the box and you got 8 or 9 in the box, you got to eventually throw the ball, right, to loosen that up.
Right.
I've been on the sideline and the coach say, I don't care if they put 11 up there. We going to run the ball.
That's bad coaching, though, like Chad said.
I don't think that is, though, because if it works and everything happens accordingly, the defense has to make a stop.
It didn't work.
But that's not on Lamar. That's on the defense. The defense has to make a stop.
Somebody. It's on the coach.
I agree with that.
It's on the defense to a certain extent, but the defense
had
been showing you that they was wearing out and they wasn't playing well anymore because they scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. By the time they scored that second touchdown in the fourth quarter, me as a viewer, I'm watching the game hoping that they don't come back and win this game, but I'm seeing it all unfold. I'm seeing how it could possibly happen, and then boom, there it is right there. So if I'm watching this as a non-football player, the coach should definitely be aware of this game situation. They've scored multiple times in the fourth quarter. I don't know if they scored 3 times. They was down 15 in the fourth quarter, so they had to score at least 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So because they missed a couple of the extra points. So the point is, they was hot. They had momentum. The coach had to understand that we're not giving them this ball back. And Bone, I think me and you walking right at the same direction when you say, I would have went for it on fourth down, even if I'm in my own territory.
That's the only thing I would have changed. I would have gone for it on fourth down. But if that game had played out the exact same way 100 times, I think 100 times I continue to run the ball because I'm trying to run out the clock. I'm not going to start doing something that we
I would have ran it with Lamar. I would have did like some. I would have did some.
But you're running the ball. You're saying that they want
something. I would have made Lamar win us the game. Like Lamar is dual threat. He's unstoppable, man. He Black Panther. Like win the game, bro. What are you doing? You lost the game. You lost the game, Lamar. And man, like people gotta like be honest with Lamar. People got to be honest with Lamar. I know he scored 40, but they scored 40 more. They scored more than them. So just because like I cannot let this man off the hook because he scored 40 points.
I don't think that's letting him off the hook from the beginning.
He don't play defense.
There's multiple people. There's multiple people where he can place blame.
Bro, Will see.
Yeah, they did beat 42, but like you said, the secondary sucked. They gave up way too much to them. But transitioning, let's make a transition onto because we did our predictions on week one, and let's go over to see who had the most wins and who had the losses.
Let's talk about the Browns. They want to talk about. They want to talk about Shador, baby. They want to talk about Shador. Shador was
big right there.
That's why the Browns lost in heartbreaking fashion for doing that wrong, man. The karma was there for them. Hold on. So what our predictions?
You said, are you already saying bring in Shador? Is that what I'm hearing?
He's a bum. He threw an interception. It bounced off. Flacco threw an interception that bounced off the wide receiver's chest into the arms of the defender.
Are you placing blame for that on Flacco? Did you just hear what you said?
Yeah.
It bounced off the hands of the wide receiver. Oh my God.
Yeah, because of his touch. Touch.
I'm not going to comment on that, bro. I'm not going to do that.
I'm just messing with you. But it still is. Okay, hold on, cuz let me finish my point and then I want you to go. But listen though. I think Flacco and Lamar Jackson are both suffering from the same situation of being snake bitten. Flacco throwing that pass and then it bouncing off of his receiver's hands and then going to the Bengals player to lose the game. It's all a part of the karmatic rhythm that's like he's playing in front of Shador when he shouldn't be, so nothing but bad luck will come to him.
Hold on, bro.
When we start talking about the Ravens.
I don't want to cut you off though, bro, but don't use them big words. I think you're being condescending whenever you do that. Don't use
the karmatic rhythm.
Don't do that to me, bro.
Let's go back to the first game.
Stop. Look at Chad. Chad, don't do this to me.
Hey, let's go back to the first game, which was Cowboys Eagles. All right, who picked what? Because I know I picked the Eagles.
I picked the Eagles too.
Okay, so we all won on that one. On the Chargers Chiefs game, I think we all lost on that because I think everybody picked the Chiefs. Yeah. Then the Dolphins Colts. I know I picked the Dolphins.
I think I picked the Dolphins on that one too. Won't be no more. They got blasted.
You picked the Colts because
he's lying. He's lying. He did not pick. I was waiting for the first person. You did not pick the Colts, bro.
Steelers Jets. Steelers won 34-32. I know, but we know Bone picked the Steelers. I definitely picked the
Steelers too. Did I not pick the Steelers? I said because Tay Boogie. Don't do it. See, you just trying to.
I picked the Jets. Then Panthers Jaguars. Jaguars won that one. I picked the Jaguars.
Oh,
Jaguars. I picked them too because I wanted.
I think I picked the Jags.
I wanted Travis Hunter to do good.
All right, Cardinals and the Saints.
Did he do good in your opinion?
He had a catch, didn't he? I didn't really see too much.
I think he has 4 or 5 catches, something like that. He had multiple catches.
He had
I know
6
that.
catches. He had 6 catches for 30 yards. Great game.
Okay.
That's trash.
So we had Cardinals and the Saints. I picked the Saints. Then we had the
Cardinals, and I picked the Cardinals because I like.
I think both of y'all picked the Cardinals.
Yep.
Then we had the
who won
Giants,
that game? The Cardinals and the Saints.
The Cardinals.
Let's go.
Then we had the Giants and the Commanders. I was about to say the Commodores.
The Commanders.
I picked the Commanders also. Then we had Buccaneers and the Falcons.
I think I picked Buccaneers.
Yeah,
I picked Buccaneers.
Next week, I'm recording everybody's.
I'm writing that. Yeah, I'm writing that down.
Yeah, we're writing
y'all
down,
starting to get mad because I'm picking more winners, I guess.
You're not.
We don't know if this is accurate. You know what I'm saying? So we had the Bengals and the Browns.
Take my word for face value. We don't know if it's accurate. I'm telling you, okay?
I definitely picked I picked the Bengals.
I picked the Bengals too because they didn't let Shador play.
Yeah, and I was like, "How are y'all picking the Bengals?"
And you picked the Browns
because all of y'all picked the Bengals.
Yeah, I picked the Bengals because Shador's not playing. So as long as Shador's on the bench, I'm picking against the Browns every week. I can tell you that right now. So whoever the Browns play, I'm picking them until Shador plays.
Houston, Texas, and the Rams. You seen Houston lost.
Yeah, the Houston lost. Then we had the Raiders and the Patriots.
What's our little CJ Stroud to be on the bench next week? He's black. Watch out. Week 2, he's not the starter.
You need help, bro.
He lost.
we had the Raiders and the Patriots. Gino had a real good game in that game. I picked the Raiders also.
I picked the Bills, and y'all crucified me. Y'all got mad at me because I picked the Bills, and I was
right. Talking about the Bills? We talking about the Raiders and the Ravens. No,
Raiders.
Raiders. I thought you said the Ravens. I'm sorry.
And ain't nobody
get to the game. Get to the Ravens game. Get to the Ravens game.
So we already talked about that. We got the 49ers and the Seahawks. I picked the Seahawks. Then the Titans and the Broncos. I know I picked the Titans.
I picked the Broncos.
And the Packers and the Lions. I picked the Packers.
I picked the Packers too. It's Michael Parsons. Man, I'm gonna personally record this.
I'm writing them down next week.
I picked all
then we had the Vikings and the Bears. Yeah,
I picked the Vikings that game.
I picked the Vikings.
Yeah. And we already know that.
No, you didn't.
I ain't gonna lie. I picked the Bears because I wanted.
You picked the Bears. You was talking about Caleb Williams.
I said yes. I finally had a chance to root for Caleb Williams. Man, Caleb Williams is not. He looked terrible.
He played. Jeez. He started the game 10 for 10. How are you coming to these conclusions?
At the end of the game, he just stared.
Hey, bro, come on, man. You gotta do better, man.
And I'll tell you something else. I did look at this weekend. There was a lot of black versus quarterback racial battles and all of that. I'm telling you, Lamar Jackson took a loss.
Help me.
Hold on, let's name him, bro. Lamar Jackson lost. Who else? Aaron Rodgers.
Jay Daniels won.
But Aaron Rodgers did beat the Jets quarterback.
Justin Fields.
Beat Justin Fields. I seen that one. It was another one that I seen too. So we down.
How?
Chad want to know how we doing predictions and there's no visible proof because this is the for shits
That's
and
what I'm
giggles
saying,
podcast.
Bro. Chad, listen, we do have physical proof. The last week's episode is on YouTube. All we gotta do is go back and go through it. But Bones,
when you see all the games that you really lost, you are going to be so disappointed in what you just said. You lost a lot more games than what you're letting on tonight.
Gino won. Oh, Gino won. Who did Gino play against? Hey, who did Brock Purdy
the Patriots.
play?
The Ravens. The Raiders played the Patriots. Will said black QBs were 5-11 this week.
Hey, fellas, I got a quick side note too. I got to ask both of y'all opinions.
Okay.
Did y'all see Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes this weekend?
Yes, I watched the game.
So what's the deal with him benching his starting quarterback?
He should have.
What you mean benching? He said he was going. He said before the game started that he was going to play 3 quarterbacks. They was going to get 2 series each. So evidently he's seeing something in practice that he wanted to find out in the game.
That's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Hold on. Okay, well, let me tell you what I think before you like teach us all this lesson that you got.
I'm not teaching nothing. I just wanted to hear your opinion.
Okay, all right, but listen, this is what I think is going on with that situation. Deion Sanders recruited a 5-star freshman to come and play for the Buffaloes, but he also got an experienced quarterback out of the transfer portal. So far, he thought that the experience of the quarterback that he the transfer portal quarterback was a little better for him right now, but I don't think he played that well in that first week against Georgia Tech, which kind of opened the door for the young kids.
He definitely didn't play that good the first week. They lost. By your estimation, he's terrible. They lost. He was trash.
I don't hold him to a higher standard that I do Lamar Jackson. You know.
Oh my God!
That standard. So I just say that it was his first game, and he didn't play as good as he could have. I don't want to clown.
Did you say it's his first game? Against
it was his first game in Colorado.
He's an experienced transfer guy.
It's his first game at Colorado. It's a different level to where he came from. More probably eyeballs. He didn't play that well, but the point in me saying that is to say that him not playing well opened up the door for this younger kid who I'm sure Deion wanted to get a look at too, to have a chance to play. Give him a shot. So I think that was
clearly you didn't watch the game yet, right? The 5-star entered the game as the number 2 quarterback. He didn't come in. The 3rd string came in first.
He didn't come in first. He ain't coming first. Straub came in last. He came in last. And then he just started to move the ball and play better, and they kept him in the game. But Julian Lewis came in first. He was the second quarterback.
If I remember correctly, the second quarterback that came in it wasn't the 5-star guy.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. He was the second.
And that begs the question: how is he not starting?
So let me answer that.
How is a 5-star guy not starting?
I see what Deion.
If a 5-star guy was named together,
I know what Deion.
He would be starting.
I know what he's up to.
So let me answer that question for you, bro. So
I'm gonna keep it a bean. If that boy was Shedeur Sanders, he'd be starting.
So if you say that he's a 5-star quarterback, okay, he is a 5-star quarterback. He's also 17 years old. So he hasn't even turned 18 yet. No, that makes a difference. So therefore, why do I need to rush him out here to play that? With that? And this is why they got a transfer portal quarterback so that they could kind of groom him to play. So now you got a senior quarterback that you can play that has been around for years. So let's play him and then groom this 17-year-old. Because not only is he a freshman, he's 17 years old. You know, and we got kids out here playing in college football now that's almost our age. So therefore,
but I'm saying
let's bring him along slow. So
the only thing I'm questioning is it because you look at just like the kid in Michigan, he was 17. He just turned 18. He playing against Oklahoma. Those 5-star guys are 5-star guys for a reason. And they don't go to school to sit behind no transfer. That's just the reality of it.
No, that's not the reality anymore. And that's why the transfer portal is what it is, because you may have somebody that you think is ready as a 5-star kid that they get there and they're not ready. So therefore, they may have to sit behind this transfer portal kid who's already experienced. That's why it's not a lot of high school kids that's being recruited anymore. That's why they're pushing them to prep school and the lower level schools to play themselves up so that they become, because just being a 5-star nowadays does not guarantee that you're about to be good and be effective.
I wouldn't argue that. I wouldn't argue that. But specifically at the quarterback position, you are typically behind another 5-star or you are on the field. That's just how it goes. Yeah,
no,
you can't. Name
typically
5 stars that are sitting on the bench. Reem, it don't happen unless they're behind somebody that was equally recruited or highly touted. Just like Cam Newton. In the case of Cam Newton,
you're talking about
he was behind.
You are correct. Speaking of what once went on. The transfer portal has changed the landscape of college football altogether. Just being a 5-star is not bringing you in as a star. Look,
I'm not saying that it brings you in as a star. I'm saying that you're not going to be sitting behind a guy who was not equally recruited and acclaimed coming out of high school. That just don't happen.
High school doesn't matter anymore, Bone, with the transfer portal. What you did in high school does not matter at all anymore. Okay. The transfer portal has totally changed the game.
Can you tell me one guy that came in as a 5-star that's sitting behind a transfer? Can you name one? I don't think I can name one.
Where did the boy at Texas that was starting last year? Where was he at before he came to Texas?
Quinn Ewers was the #1 high school prospect in America.
Where was he at before? But he was a transfer, right? So he didn't play when he went at the school he went to first, right?
He was a 5-star. That's all I'm saying.
Did he play at the school he went to first? And that's why he was a transfer.
I'm not saying if he played, Reem. I'm not saying if you played or not. I'm saying he was a 5-star.
You just said 5 stars don't go nowhere and sit. He sat because that's why he transferred, because he sat somewhere.
It was another 5-star in front of him. That's all I'm saying, Reem. You're not going to be sitting behind somebody that's not a 5-star.
So does the transfer portal make a difference when you're a 5-star or if you were not a 5-star or if you were a 4-star?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. So now if you've gone to school and now you've developed in 2 years, you telling me just because you're a 5-star coming out of high school, you're not going to sit behind somebody? If they're outplaying you, they might be better suited to play because they've already been established in playing college ball, even if they played at a mid-major. And that's what we're seeing a whole lot of happening with 5 stars in every position.
I'm not talking about every position, Reem. I'm specifically saying at the quarterback position, and it's even more apparent now with the NIL. These kids are getting paid, and they're getting paid. Now the sponsors are even more influential because they're saying this kid getting paid, he needs to be on the field. A lot like what happened with Quinn Ewers when he had a transfer out of Ohio State. He was the highest dude getting paid as a quarterback, and he wasn't playing. And he had to be in a position where he was going to play.
So evidently,
you're not going to be that guy.
The money didn't make him play.
If you that guy,
your play gonna be that. Your play gonna be that.
All I'm saying is, prove me wrong. Show me a 5-star that's sitting behind a 3-star transfer. That don't happen. That don't happen.
Let me interject. Let me interject. This is now I think I understand what's going on. It's a game within the game here. So Deion Sanders played 3 quarterbacks and let the 3rd-string quarterback play the most. Coincidentally, his son is the 3rd-string quarterback on a team, and I think that he wants the Cleveland Brown coach to follow his example and letting all the quarterbacks play as they should to see who's really suited best to run this team as an experiment.
You remember what Reem said? Reem said what he showed in practice clearly showed that he should play.
Well, first of all, let's say that this third-string quarterback was also the backup quarterback for the last 2 years behind Shador. So evidently, you brought in somebody. So your philosophy of, we got a 5-star coming in might have been it. And then when they got there, Deion realized that neither one of these kids was ready to play, and they showed it that they wasn't ready in the game. And the kid that was a 2-star, 3-star that's been in college for 3 years stepped up and was ready to play at this time. So that's why I'm saying all that star stuff don't mean anything when it get time to get on the field and compete. And when I'm saying so, to your point of that you're trying to say that we talk about what's seen in practice to say that to Shedeur. And I'm going to go back to the point of what I made before about Shedeur. What we heard from all accounts coming out of the Browns camp was that Shedeur was performing in practice. That was all the accounts that came out. Shedeur is balling in practice. So I get what you're trying to say about practice, but it don't apply to Shedeur because that's not what was said, which was coming out of their camp. Is that he was balling in practice.
All I'm saying is if he's not playing, which I said before, in the case of Shedeur, if he's not playing, guess what? He's not doing well in practice.
That's your opinion, because that's not what's being said coming out of the camp. So that's something that you coming up with. That's your opinion on that.
I'm telling you, Deion Sanders is trying to play. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that it's necessarily something intentional Deion Sanders is doing, but it is interesting to see the correlation between
if Shedeur was at Colorado,
Deion Sanders. If Shedeur was at Colorado, would he be starting? Yes.
Would he be starting?
Yes.
If Shedeur was still in college, of course he would be starting because he's a quarterback.
No. Okay, my fault. I'm saying if he was in that situation and a 5-star was there, would Shedeur be starting with his dad on the sidelines?
Yeah.
If Shedeur is the better quarterback, Shedeur would have been playing off rip. And
I think no. My point is, I think if he wasn't the best quarterback, he would be playing. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but his dad was gonna have him playing.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. If he wasn't the best option, and he had a 5-star sitting right behind him, Shedeur would be playing. Because his dad is. I think if there was a safety out there that was outperforming Shiloh would still be starting.
I don't think so, and I personally think Deion went to a school. He took his luggage to a school where his kids was already going to go in, and they were going to be the better players on the team. So you can what if that? You can what if that all you want to, and then blame it on Daddy Ball and all this and that, because that don't even matter no more. Because neither one of his kids are at Colorado. So now what the whole situation is, so just like we talked about, Shedeur never played without his daddy. His daddy's never coached without Shedeur. So now he's in a situation to try to figure out.
And the moment he needed to show competition, he set a quarterback. Because his quarterbacks weren't performing. If he had plenty of opportunities to sit his son when he wasn't playing good, and he never did that. That's the whole point.
When was Shedeur playing that bad that he needed to be set? Man, now you reaching now. That's just damn. That's a damn. That is ridiculous. He ain't never played that bad that he needed to be set. Everybody has a bad game, but he ain't never played that bad that he needed to be set down.
Okay,
never was he playing that bad.
Let me ask you this.
That's ridiculous, Bone.
No, it's not. When they play Oregon, they didn't move the ball past the 50-yard line. They did not have no offense. Yeah. And if you don't think that there was an opportunity for him to be sat down, you got to be crazy. They beat the brakes off of them.
Compare how bad
he got hurt in the game, and he put that same quarterback they're playing now in the game, and they couldn't move the ball at all when Shedeur was out and playing. So why would you think he would have got set? So let's keep it real. That same quarterback they're playing now played in the games when Shedeur got hurt and Colorado looked horrible. So why was Shedeur got hurt?
Reem, I'm not saying
if you don't like Shedeur, just say I don't like Shedeur and leave it.
I'm saying you have to stay consistent. All I'm saying, you have to stay consistent as a coach. He has had opportunity. If you believe that Shedeur has played lights out every game, you're lying to yourself.
Nobody said that. No, I said he's never played bad enough that he should have been set, and that you pulled him out the game and you set him and you had a better option over there. Because when the other guy got in the game and played, the Colorado looked terrible.
Listen, there was plenty of opportunities. Let me ask you something. Be honest. Do you think that any of the quarterbacks on the roster now have the same leash that his son has? I mean, you're being disingenuous to yourself.
No. What does that have to do with anything?
That's the truth.
What does that have to do with anything? Why are we keep trying to
You're
put all
not being
this? You play.
because you can't play those
So
type of
tell me
games
this:
in
you play
college.
for your daddy. You play for your daddy. Did you have a leash that everybody else didn't have?
Absolutely. I was his son.
So quit talking about daddy ball then. So don't talk about daddy ball. If you
I'm saying
were a
I
part of it, don't talk about daddy ball.
Look, Ray, I'm telling you, dude, that is the truth. I didn't say it's right or wrong, but you have got to understand there was zero competition for the QB. He went from Jackson State to Colorado. As a matter of fact, that was a clear message when he said he got luggage and he's got Louis. That was a clear message to the quarterbacks that were there that you might want to bounce because my son is starting. Period.
Well, if you were 1-10, you ain't no way that you thought that you was comfortable. Nobody should thought that they got a position to set, and you was 1-10 a year before.
Can I ask a question? What was the score when Dion pulled the first quarterback this last week? Was
So first of all, hold on.
Losing, or was it
I answered the question for you because he did not sub him out the game and pull him out the game. He rotated him because he went back in the game. So Dion said before the game he was going to give each quarterback 2 series, and whoever was rolling, then they would play more. And then he went back to the quarterback again. So he did not pull him because he ended up playing throughout the third and fourth quarter in the game also. So he was not pulled. He rotated to see the same way. So I don't know why y'all acting like the quarterback position is any different than any other position. You rotate and play players in other positions to see who rolling, to see who going good and who working.
No, you don't do that with quarterbacks. You don't do that with quarterbacks.
Why don't you? Why don't you? Because it's never been done before. I mean, you don't do it. Why don't you do that? You do that with point guards in basketball, who's the same as a quarterback. You do it with point guards. They split time and all this. So why can't be done with a quarterback?
Football, you want to know why? I'll tell you exactly why. Using this situation as my example. If let's say he continues to do this by week 4, I guarantee you that 5-star will be in the transfer portal. I guarantee it.
We'll see.
I guarantee it.
Why?
What do you mean? You're not going to bring quarterbacks in and out of the game. Either you're going to put me on the bench or you're going to let me find a rhythm and let me play a full game. You don't do that to a quarterback. A quarterback has to be in the game.
So you don't have packages. You don't have packages for certain quarterbacks. We didn't see that with Cordell Stewart back in the day, where they had certain packages that you played quarterback in certain situations. So maybe he ends up running all these quarterbacks with certain packages.
And all I'm telling you is he won't have 5-star. He'll be gone. Where he has a coach. And not only that, Reem.
This boy is 17 years old. He ain't got no demands.
Just hear me out. This looks bad for Dion. Because
why?
I'm just saying because he would have never done that to his son.
But stop talking about his son, man. Let's move on past that. Let's talk about Dion coaching now.
You know why it matters?
Shedeur has nothing to do with this anymore. He is no longer at Colorado. He's a Cleveland Brown quarterback. So we do not need to keep talking about how Dion coached Shedeur.
That matters, though, bro.
No, it does not.
You want to know why it matters? You want to know why it matters?
Conversation. It matters to this conversation.
Because it does not matter.
It does. I mean, it's a very interesting point that Bone is bringing up, and I would have to agree with it. But instead of running from what he's saying, I would say, damn right, he should do that for his son because
I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say it was wrong.
There's nothing wrong with but all I'm saying is it doesn't make him look bad. It makes him look like a father.
But you want to know why it does, bro?
It might make him.
You want to know why it does?
Dion probably didn't bring in quarterbacks that would even challenge his son because he didn't want those problems. But now, since he has to rebuild, he has to rebuild this program now. Okay,
and that's why. And bingo means what? Because we don't want I watch all type of coaches coach they sons before in multiple sports, and it's been stuff that it's been ridiculously shown that it was daddy ball and this and that. And you know what? And you know what does not matter is that when your kid is gone, just like Doug McDermott coached his son at Creighton. And you know what does not matter anymore is what you did with your son when your son is now in the NBA. It don't matter. That don't have nothing to do with how you recruit me. I'm like, well, you did this with your son. That don't even make sense to talk about.
You know why that's a completely different situation? Doug McDermott was at a mid-major, for one. For two, he was clearly the best player on that team, as evident by him being the only one that went to the league. Really,
he wasn't the only one that went to the league. Check your stats on that. Check your facts on that.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are. So check your facts on that.
Doug McDermott was the best player on that team. I know that. And secondly, the problem that'll arise for Deion with this, in the situation with him and this quarterback, you have to recruit again. So when he goes out in the homes, it's not just him. Everybody that he's recruiting against is gonna say, "You see how I did the 5-star? He'd never do the very thing that I'm saying." They're going to say,
"Look what Chad is saying though. Like we are kind of missing this point.
They were playing Delaware.
Okay,
that's
so
why
when I look at that,
that's why
I say like that gives him the opportunity to try this out because they're playing against inferior talent. So he wanted to see who he had in this type of game with low stakes.
When they played Delaware, they're supposed to win 60-something to nothing. Right. They played a game. They were not highly efficient in that game at all. My only point is when they start recruiting,
and that's why he used different quarterbacks because they weren't efficient. So now he's trying to see who can perform in there and to go back. So what I'm saying is you keep talking about Daddy Ball and keep beating this point down about Deion and Daddy Ball. But then you come up with something like because this is your opinion that clearly Doug McDermott was all this and that. There were a couple other.
McDermott.
I know I did, but you tried to use the point of saying that he was clearly the best player on the team. No, they had other players that were pros on that team, and they weren't. But because Daddy Ball, no, you look like he the best because Daddy Ball allowed him to take all the shots, all the shots. That's what Daddy Ball did for him. You know what I'm saying? But so your point of saying this, he's playing daddy ball and a daddy allowing you to do so. So now, when he go out and recruit, should the next kid that's coming there say, "Hey, well, you got to treat me like how you did your son," and he was shooting all the balls while I ain't get to shoot all the balls because his son shot all the balls.
I'm not arguing if you were trying to argue that Daddy Ball didn't exist. I'm saying that it clearly does. I'm saying McDermott got a longer leash because his dad was the coach, and the same goes for Deion Sanders. I'm consistent. No. You're not. You're saying I am consistent.
My point is that you keep beating that down as if saying this is the only reason with Shador. And I just said that I clearly watched Daddy Ball take place in other situations that was far more ridiculous than what took place. That took place at Colorado with what you call it. You calling for Shador to being benched. Who was he gonna be benched for? That's not even that don't even make sense. And then you're talking about 5 stars going to Colorado. Colorado hadn't won in how many seasons? So how many 5 stars was beating down the door to try to go to Colorado?
And
they weren't. They weren't.
Rain, you're not listening.
So now that you got one coming, is that not because of Deion Sanders?
Everything is because of Deion, and then like I said, the treatment of this one will have a direct impact on whether or not he get more of them. Ring. That's all I said. He played Daddy Ball. He did play Daddy Ball. You have to acknowledge he played Daddy Ball.
What is his treatment of him? If this kid ain't ready to play at 17 years old, am I supposed to put you out on the field and let you fail? And look back, maybe my treatment of you is to protect you.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. So maybe part of his treatment of him is to protect him so that he does not allow him to go out there and look bad and all that type of stuff. So maybe he redshirts him because he's a 17-year-old.
I'm not arguing that, Ring.
But no, you said he would lose him if he don't play. So maybe this boy already understands at 17 years old, I'm not ready right now. So I don't need to go nowhere else.
He tried that with the last 5-star corner that he got, and that dude
He
was a
left
head
because
case.
he didn't want. He
He was
didn't
a
have no
head
work
case.
ethic, and that's what was said. He didn't want to work. And what's happening for him at Florida? The same thing was said for him at Florida.
He
And what
was
is
a
he doing
head
in
case,
Florida? Nothing. So why
All right,
bring
hold
up a
on.
head case?
but he
Hold on,
left, Reem. That's all I'm saying. He left, and there's going to be suitors for guys that are that big. Those guys, they don't get those ratings for
And
no
he's not
reason.
doing
That's
nothing
all I'm
at
saying.
Florida.
I'm
So
not arguing that, Reem. I'm saying
so
you
what's
don't
the
get to
point of
play.
talking about
Hold on.
somebody
Let
leaving
me,
that
hold on.
don't
Can I
pan out
mediate?
somewhere else?
Can I mediate this? Hold on. I think that we are like, both of y'all are kind of like close to each other, but there is just one small gap in this. So Bone is saying that he's playing daddy ball, right? And Reem, you saying like not for real because there wasn't nobody else there to like for Shador to get subbed out for daddy ball to even be taking place because there wasn't no 5-star people there. So what Bone is saying is
Not by
if
accident,
there
by
was
the way.
somebody there, if right, not by accident, and Bone is saying if there was, he wouldn't have done this experiment if his son was playing there. He's
That's
probably
it.
right, but at the same point, though, when Shador was there, I don't feel like it was. Well, you could say it's daddy ball because he didn't recruit anybody to challenge his son, but just as far as actual playing, I don't feel like anybody didn't get a chance to play because he picked Shador over them. So I don't think daddy ball was actually happening. But if there was somebody to compete with, daddy ball could have happened, but we just speculating for real.
So
It never had to actually happen because nobody was there. You see what I'm saying? So y'all both kind of right to me, but it's not
the
as
point
clear cut as
the
daddy
point
ball.
on to say that he didn't recruit anybody there. I'm coming in and I'm bringing a quarterback with me that got 2 years. Okay. We're going to a program has been 1-9, ain't won but what 4 or 5 games in the last 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Where do you think a 5-star is coming from? So now a 5-star like, oh yeah, I'm about to go there. That ain't what was happening. So I bring in something. Now I'm rebuilding.
Hold
So you
on,
know what
Reem.
happens?
Let me
2
ask you
years
something.
In a
after I do
5-star.
do 2 years. After 2 years, I bring in a 5-star behind what I brought in with me.
Well,
Because
he
now
brought
you
in
can
a
come in.
5-star with his son. His
Reem.
son is a 5-star. His son is a 5-star that he brought in. There was no need for him to go get another 5-star. He trying to find a line to protect his son or something. Like not.
Let me tell you something.
I think
This is the difference.
Dion did good,
If
man.
you
He did what
guys,
he supposed
if
to
you
do for
guys
his son
remember,
and
if
for
you
a
guys
program.
remember my whole position on Dion, and this will bring this conversation full circle on my end. When I said Dion will never be able to compete with big dogs, what Reem just said is why they won't. He said he had his son for 2 years, and then he said, why is a 5-star going to come there? And when you talk about programs like a Texas, an Ohio State, Michigan, they get 5-stars every year at every position. So it's not about, it's going to be competition. You know somebody is coming for you every year. They get them every year, like work. Colorado will never be on that level. They'll never
If
be
you
on that.
please, when you quote me, quote
That's why you
me,
have
correct me.
Quinn Ewers and
What I
Arch
said,
Manning.
what I said is no 5-star was there and was gonna go to Colorado because Colorado was a losing program. So 5 stars, Colorado had fed up. It has to be rebuilt. The same that happened with SMU was one of the programs that had all the 5 stars going at one time, right? But then something happened to the program, and the program fell off. So in order for SMU to go back to being what SMU was, it has to be able to get recruits. But it wasn't going to be at the start.
You're
and that's
absolutely
the same thing they're saying with Colorado. You're saying Colorado will never. What I'm saying is Dion has the opportunity so that he can recruit and build his program to be that.
You're leaving out the
you
details,
say no,
Green.
I say, dude, what's the detail?
Your example was using SMU. The reason why they were so good because they were down in Texas and they were paying them boys to play ball. The reason that Colorado won't is they don't have the people to pay people like that. That's what I said from the giddy up.
Bro, have you checked the resources of Colorado? Please go do that before you keep saying that, and go check where the wealthiest people are in Boulder, Colorado. Would you please go check your resources before you say that? Just because you say so don't mean that. You don't mean that it's correct. Oklahoma State that had one of the biggest billionaires ever, and at one point in time they were good. They're not now. Oklahoma was this at one point in time. They're not. Nebraska was this at one point in time. They're not. So therefore, this stuff will rotate as far as teams and all this and that. And it matters on who the coaches are and this and that. But do you think that Nebraska, who had all the money at one point in time, they don't have no more?
They're getting paid as much as Shedeur was?
He ain't as marketable as Shedeur.
Okay. That's my point, Rain. The safety
what's your
at Ohio State is getting paid more than damn near everybody in Colorado right now. Nobody don't even know what he looked like.
What safety are you talking about?
Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs
is one of the best players in the country. So of course he's going to get paid more.
No. You said marketable. No one even knows what he looks like, and he's getting paid. You said marketable. He's not marketable. He's getting paid. He's getting paid through what? The collective or the NIL? Which one?
Ring. And it does matter. Which one? Which one? Because what are we talking about? The collective or the NIL?
I'm talking about how you can field a team. If you don't have the pockets to field a team, it don't matter. Because
how are we talking about getting paid, Bo? How are we talking? Are we talking about the collective or the NIL? Those are two different things.
Can you outspend Ohio State?
So you're talking about the collective. Because when you're talking about what Shedeur got, we're talking about NIL deals. Two completely different things.
I'm talking about getting paid. I think the guys that's cashing those checks care less where it comes from. The dude in South Carolina that's the quarterback sellers, he gets paid over the next 2 years almost $9 million. I don't think nobody in Colorado is getting paid like that.
It does matter where it comes, because on that, so you're talking about the collective then. You're not talking, because what you said was that the people get paid like Shedeur. Shedeur and Travis didn't even take the money that came from the collective. They only worked off their NIL deals. It does matter, because those are two completely different pools of money. They're two different things.
This is my question to you, since it clearly matters for you. When you combine those for Colorado, does it even match up to what Ohio State has to spend for football? This is why I say it don't matter. When you add those up,
add what up? Add up what?
You said the collective. You said the collective and the NIL. You said which place
two different things.
Right.
Two different things. Okay.
And there's an amount that you can spend at Colorado clearly, and there's an amount that you can spend at Ohio State. My question to you is, when you combine them, is it even a comparison what Colorado can spend versus Ohio State?
It's a comparison of you can't combine them, because the NIL is strictly off of what you get on an NIL, meaning somebody that's marketing a brand or a company is wanting to put money behind you, a State Farm, a Nike, or something like that. So that's completely different money than boosters putting into a pot that we call in a collective that they're paying out at the school. Two completely different things. So can Colorado compete with does Colorado's boosters contribute to what Ohio State is doing at this time? Probably not. But when you start talking about with Shedeur getting the NIL, his NIL is completely different, and what he gonna make off of NIL, nobody at Ohio State was making off of what he made off of NIL deals.
You're absolutely right. That's absolutely right, and all that has to do with.
Because they don't have no deals with Beats.
It's daddy ball. I rest my case. And
so Travis ain't his son, and Travis was getting 2.5 or $3 million off of NIL.
Ring. You know how.
No, I don't.
No. Listen to me, because you're gonna be.
I've been listening. You're just making up stuff.
I say I'm cousins. I say I'm family with a lot of people, and you said sometimes people who ain't related to you are more family to you than people who aren't. Now, are you going to be inconsistent, or are you going to be consistent? The boy said many a times that's his dad. That's like a daddy figure. So that's why I say they sons. Now, are you going to say he can't be that, or are you gonna say he can be? Don't be inconsistent, Reem.
I'm not being inconsistent. You keep moving the goalposts. So now you want to talk about, we saying what's like. You said his son. He's not his son. He's not his biological son. So whether he's a father figure to him or not, he's not his son. So stop saying he's doing daddy ball with him. So that's why he got NIL deals, because of his daddy. Because Deion. No, because he's marketable. That's why he got NIL deals. NIL deals is based off of marketability and who you want to market. And that's why it's only certain players that got NIL deals. That's why certain players only have NIL deals.
That's daddy ball, Ring.
Call it what you want. Call it what you want. So when Juju Lewis, when he gets to a point that he can get to the point that Juju Lewis is marketable enough that State Farm wants to market him, and that's going to be based off his performance and what he do. And then he's in State Farm commercials and stuff like that, and he's getting $4 million off an NIL deal. That's going to be daddy ball in? No, it got to do about what you are and what's able to be marketable. Shador started being marketed even at Jackson State. And people was buying his gear. He got deals with Beats. That's where his money came from. He wasn't even receiving collective money. Period.
I rest my case. That's daddy ball. However you want to slice it. A lot of those rooms that he was able to walk into, he was in commercials with his father, Ring. You think he didn't benefit from a marketability standpoint because that was his dad? Are you nuts? You don't think
so that's daddy ball? That's daddy ball.
And he followed him from Jackson State to Colorado. You think that didn't have any play in why that played out the way it did?
Let's be consistent. Let's be consistent, because you just stated the last several weeks that Arch Manning get all this stuff because he come from royalty.
He does. It's the same thing.
But you claim Deion them ain't royalty.
Oh, is Arch Manning daddy ball?
His dad ain't on the coaching staff. But I will say this. I guarantee you they have influence in that coaching staff.
So is he daddy ball? Is he daddy ball?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They have influence on that coaching staff at
there it is. I mean, if he's saying it about both of them, I think that's it right there. That's just how he sees this. And I agree. I know what you're saying, but I don't think Shador didn't deserve to play. Even though his father may have gave him a longer leash, I still feel like he earned a chance to play, and he did well. He helped turn the program around
from the beginning.
But daddy ball, hold on, daddy. Wait a minute, let me have one chance now. Daddy ball is insinuating that this kid doesn't deserve the opportunity that he's getting, and part of the reason why he's playing is just because he's the son of the coach, and I don't think any of that applies to Shador. Now, I do think Shador benefited from his father being the coach and being so famous. That's good. I mean, listen, that's why like a lot of like spiritual doctrine teaches you that when you do things, you'll be blessed forever and for generations. It's talking about your family. So for Shador to get these things from his father, it's just fruit that his dad is passing on to him. So I don't think saying daddy ball the way that we're saying it is kind of like being disparaging toward Shador to make it seem like he really don't deserve it. And he did. He played well. And he's still been doing well. So that's the only part that ain't right. To me.
I totally feel another terminology should be used, because that is exactly what daddy ball is. When you start to talk about daddy ball, we talk about people who, my kid wasn't good enough to make this team or do this, so I'm gonna start my own team only to play my kid and all this and that. And not the fact that your kid is actually good.
Somebody else playing there
exactly
in front of someone else.
Playing in front of somebody else who's actually good. And that's the thing. And that is not the situation with Shador Sanders. Yes, has he benefited? That he can benefit monetarily from who his father is? Yes, and he should. That is what life is. So him in commercials with his daddy, yeah, he should be in commercials with his daddy.
At that point, you're talking about
Bucky has been in commercials with his daddy and did
daddy
stuff,
ball.
and he ain't even
daddy
playing.
Ball.
And
exactly.
he ain't even playing.
Daddy ball.
He's not playing, and he
daddy
benefits.
Ball.
His daughter has been a.
What
daddy
is
ball.
daddy ball? What is daddy ball? To make sure that we're not missing each other. So because we might be in agreement. What is daddy ball?
In the case of what y'all are saying, their marketability, because this is evolving around NIL and the collective.
No, I'm asking what's the definition of daddy ball?
When a parent is using influence to benefit the child, that's daddy ball.
And using
So would you do it in that situation?
Time, or what are we? What are we?
Yeah.
So
yes.
would it be that?
So stop talking about it then if it's something you would do. So because you acting like it's wrong.
Hold
so
on.
if it's something you would do, there's no reason to talk about it.
That's why I say you don't listen. At the beginning, I'm not saying it's wrong. I said I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is happening.
So let's quit talking about it. If it's something you're gonna do it. If it's something that you're gonna do, because I'm tired of black people starting to act like it's wrong, or even mentioning it and talking about it when a kid. I said, or even mentioning it to talk about what's happening for Bronny or Shador or any of them. Let's stop talking about it, because the nepotism goes on through all type of races and all type of stuff, and we don't even talk about it. It goes on with all this culture stuff and everything.
I got a question.
If we're not going to hold everybody to it, so let's just stop talking about it.
Well, hold on, look,
it's a reality.
It automatically daddy ball. It's immediately daddy ball once a child plays for the father. Is there any chance that a father could coach their child without there being any daddy ball?
Yes, mine coached mine, and he didn't show no.
I didn't get no. Let me hear Bone. Is it?
I think regardless, that is always going to be in the conversation, and someone is going to feel that you're not being
there. You go.
Fair.
There you go. That's
it's
true.
Always gonna be there. And when you look,
it's wrong, but it's true. Like it's both.
And from the beginning, right, I said I'm not saying it's wrong.
You are wrong for saying it, but there's always one person that's waiting for you to give. Be nice to your child. Like, look at him slapping his hand. Like, if you give your child a high five because they did something good, daddy ball.
Yeah. Just because you think it don't mean it's true. Just because it don't make it true. You know what I'm saying? You got my. I heard people say that stuff all the time. I've been on coaching staffs with somebody who kid was on the staff, and he received no breaks, no type of nothing given to him. He worked out there and did everything, but then somebody like, oh, well, this daddy ball just because he on the team. Ain't nobody got time to talk about that. Everybody, because it's all this moving the goalpost on something in. Oh, well, this he shouldn't even be on the team. He only on the team because his daddy the coach. Well, if you was coaching, would you have your son on the team? Yes, you. So let's stop talking about it. And this is what I'm saying. Is I'm tired of black folks keep talking about the Bronny and the Shadors and all this and that, but we don't talk about all these coaches out here coaching that's been coaching through nepotism and all this type of stuff. So let's stop talking about it, especially as black people. Let's stop bringing it down or mentioning it or even saying whether or not you call it wrong or whatever, just by putting it in the air that this is what's going on, because it diminishes the kids' talent and act like these kids are not good enough to do what they're doing. And that's not true. That's not true. Right. Jalen Brunson, daddy, is on the coaching staff. So is that daddy ball?
Is he not dad on the coaching staff?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
and he shoots it every time.
So again, is he not good? Is he daddy not good? Ball. Was it daddy on the coaching staff?
Just because he's daddy ball does not have any implications on whether or not he's good.
That's what goes with the saying of daddy ball, Bone. That's what
I will
people.
say this.
That's what it's saying with daddy ball. That is automatically something of nepotism, and saying that kids did not earn something.
That's what you are leaning on, but that's not
No,
always the case.
you just agreed with June when he stated that said, regardless of what, there's going to be one person that's going to say, "Oh, his kid only get this." So that's what that is saying. When you say daddy ball, that's somebody is being given something that they did not earn, and that's not correct.
Let me say a huge point. This is a head chop point. Look, when it comes to coaching youth sports, the coaches are all fathers. Like, it's supported off the backbone of fathers coaching. There's daddy ball probably on every team because
everyone,
those are the volunteers. I'll coach my son. I mean, I'll coach a team. They're parents that do this. So when you say things like every game, like every time somebody coaches their child, it's daddy ball, that could it makes somebody like, yeah, man, don't it makes people, when they coach and go through all of the stuff they go through, like, it messes it up because they like, bro, I'm just out here coaching for real. I ain't trying to really show favoritism towards my son, but I can't really not show him the same love or more because he really my son. So it's like you got to turn off a human element because everybody want to see their kid.
And who can do that?
It's gonna be very
hard. A lot
hard
of folks can do it.
I mean, no, you want to see your look, no matter if you're coaching or not. When your child scores, the coach is happy and the parent is happy. So there could be a little more enthusiasm for the bucket. I mean, it's just like when my daughter scored a goal when she was a little girl, bro. She scored a goal playing soccer, bro. I was so happy, and I was coaching. I was just as happy for everybody else, but this was my baby that scored. So, like, you're a human. You can't really like get mad at somebody for really being proud of their child while they're coaching them too. So it's tough to just label them like you an unfair coach, because that's what daddy ball means. And that means all of these peewee sports coaches are nothing more than just really some selfish daddy ball niggas.
I mean, and in the case, and what changes that for everyone when you comparing it with Shador, they had to go somewhere else where their dad wasn't the coach, and they had to earn it. And in the case of Shador, he never did. He's only played for his dad. That's what.
So he never earned. He never earned anything. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying.
You just said that. Did you not just say? You just said that.
I said in the case of everyone else outside of Shador, it's going to look like they've all had to play without their dads. Even the McDermott that you use, he played for his dad in college. He didn't play for him in high school and all the way up through youth. His dad was already a coach. Shador played with his dad from peewee to college. And the first time that he has not played with his dad, the perception will be you see what happened when he had to play without his dad. He gets all this stuff, people coming out, he getting treated unfairly, things ain't working out. He was a 5th round pick. He get 5th round reps. I've heard plenty of people say he should have just been given the starting job because he threw 2 touchdowns in a preseason game. But he was a 5th round pick. And he's not playing with his father for the first time.
Yeah, he was a 5th round pick based on collusion and disrespect and some dog.
I'm not saying
because you're saying he's a 5th round pick, but it was world news that he was 5th round pick because he was always expected to go much higher. So to just like say he's a 5th round pick and keep walking isn't giving the full context of why people are feeling like, wait a minute, why ain't he given a chance? Like a 5th round pick was very surprising to all. I mean, some Mel Kiper, who has been well respected his whole career until this year now, because he said Shador should have went number 1. But now his word don't mean nothing. But all before, like, he's picked plenty of number 1 players and he's looked at as a draft analyst expert. So to call him a 5th round pick ain't telling the whole story. Like, this kid could play. He was looked at to be at least going in the 1st round, maybe one of the first 3 or 4 picks. And then he didn't get picked. So that's why it's so unusual.
So this is what I want to say.
Can you ask Chad to allude on his comment? I said, Daddy, what happens? It's cool. He said, I'm saying it's negative.
Because the way you are presenting this and everything you saying about Shedeur is saying that Shedeur has not earned anything, that he should not, his NIL money to his playing time on the field to playing at Colorado. It's only because, no, that's what you're saying, Bone. That is what you're saying is coming across as saying that Shedeur has not earned anything, and everything that we talk about that
I'm going to own what I said. I said he benefited from his dad as far as the marketing dollars he got, and if you don't believe that, you crazy. The fact that he got all that marketing dollars, that's what I said. That's what I did.
However you want to word it, what it is coming across as you saying is that he got everything that he's got because of his daddy.
As a matter of fact, you want to know what? I can prove that it's a fact. No one else on that team has been in a commercial with Dion since his son left. When his son's left, you can't find this. No one else on that team. So I'm speaking on fact.
Why would they? Why would they? Who wants them? Who wants them in a commercial? Okay. Why would they?
I'm just saying, Reem. Ain't nobody else on the
so again, my point is you're talking loudly on everything that you're saying, and what you are coming across as saying is that Shedeur has not earned anything. That is how you say it. He played with his daddy from Pee-wee to high school to this and that.
So that's a good thing. He benefited from having his dad. That is a good thing. You trying to turn it into like it's something negative about Shedeur. Shedeur benefits from having his dad. If Shedeur's name was not Sanders,
you said he didn't have to compete. You said he didn't have to compete for playing time. That's not benefited. That's giving something. He didn't have to. He didn't have to compete for playing time.
That's gonna be
because nobody was recruited behind him, so he didn't have to compete. He didn't have to do. So you're saying he was given everything. That's not what you're saying. You're saying that, so he didn't have to do nothing to get NIL deals because of his daddy. You're saying he was given everything. Like this boy is not talented.
I'm not saying nothing about his talent. I'm saying he benefits from his dad. And it's nothing wrong from benefiting from having your dad's last name. If his last name was Johnson, he damn sure wouldn't be getting the NIL money that he was getting. And if you don't believe that,
his last name is Sanders, so it's not Johnson. His name is Sanders, and we're not talking about no what ifs. And what we're talking about is everything you just stated.
But I'm not saying that he didn't earn nothing. I didn't say that he didn't earn nothing.
You did. That's what you're saying. Oh, he's benefited by this. He wouldn't have. Yeah, you said he wouldn't have had these things if it wasn't for his dad.
He wouldn't.
So that's saying that he was given everything.
Ray, let me ask you this. How out of okay, so look, if this is a success pie for Shedeur, a success pie, what percentage of the pie would you give Shedeur's talent for where he is? Out of 100%,
out of 100%, I would definitely give him 85%. He's talented.
Okay,
and his talented. What he give?
What percentage would you give, Bone?
Say the question again. How much of his talent?
What percentage of his success is based on his talent?
That's a good question. I don't think I can actually say that because it all matters. I think the level of recruiting that he got out of high school, a lot of it was that's Deion Sanders' son. A lot of the people that look at him, they're going to say that's Deion Sanders' son. That's just like saying, I mean, anybody that is going, that's going to matter. And to act like it doesn't is crazy.
It does. What percentage does it matter? What percentage does it matter?
I think a lot.
More than half.
And to reduce it, I don't know exactly how much, but I would say the fact that he is his father, it matters more than what would be 15%.
What about Michael? What about Michael?
So was he? Let me ask this question. Was he a college level quarterback?
Wait, Michael Jordan's son. How was he recruited?
I don't know. I think he went Division I somewhere, but it
this
didn't
is
pan out
Michael
for whatever
Jordan's
reason.
son. So all I'm saying is being recruited and offered. Look, your ears go up. Boom. Michael Jordan got a son that's playing. Of course, we're going to go and check him out. But if we don't actually make him an offer, then he ain't no good. Now, we read off the list of everybody who recruited and offered Shedeur. They was all top flight schools. You think they would actually offer him a scholarship?
I absolutely do.
Why? Because his last name's Sanders?
No,
but they didn't give Jordan's son
there
one?
was an inkling at the time. I think you forget there was an inkling at the time that his dad was going to come and be on the coaching staff for most of those teams that offered him. Yes. And for that, his dad matters even more.
Offer Deion Sanders one of them jobs at these big boy schools because he was too much of a loud.
Oh, no. He wasn't. And that's why he never went, because they weren't offering him to be the head coach. They were offering him, just like his alma mater did, to be a DB coach. And he wasn't going for that. And
that's worse. And you want Deion Sanders to be an assistant coach on your team? He's going to be outshining the coach. But anyway,
but you asked me a question, though, and I'm telling you why. I'm telling you why some of those big boy schools did offer Shedeur, and it wasn't 100% his talent. A significant portion of that was because Deion was. A lot of people were saying he was considering going to coach at one of these schools, but what they didn't know is he wanted to be the head coach. And when that was a reality, he signed to go to Florida Atlantic. He signed to go to Florida Atlantic.
Do you think Shedeur is good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But that's not what comes across with what you say, because you just said he was recruited.
I think you have to be good to get recruited and to get drafted.
Let me say, because you said everything that happened with him. He's a Sanders, so there's no what if he was a Johnson. It's that his last name is Sanders and he's Deion's son. So, but you saying that he was recruited by these schools because of Deion, because they wanted Deion to come coach. Then when he went to go play at Jackson State, let me finish. Because he go to Jackson State and play, he playing for Deion. So this is why he able to do this, do that. He go to Colorado. This is because of Deion. He's in commercials. This is because of Deion. So that is basically saying, no matter how you try to shape that this boy ain't earned nothing, that he's getting everything because of his dad.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying his dad had a lot more significance what you're giving up, because originally Shedeur signed to go to Florida Atlantic. He was going to go to Florida Atlantic. His dad was not a coach. The moment his dad became the head coach, he decommitted and he went down there. He went down there because his dad was going down there, not because he loved the facilities at Jackson State. He could have stayed at Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic is a way bigger. Okay, so that's because of his dad. That's because of his dad.
You're moving the goalposts again about why he went to go play at Jackson State. I'm talking about you just stating that everything this boy
gets
did
he transfer?
From his NIL deal for everything is only because of his dad. So are you saying that he has no talent and he's not everything? He only was recruited out of high school because his dad.
Two things can be true, Reem. I'm saying two things can be true. The reason he went to Jackson State was because of his dad.
We all know that. That's not even in question.
The reason he transferred to Colorado was because of his dad.
That's not in question. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about everything that you just said. You said
he can be good and have the amount of influence that he did, because before you even looked at the roster, he had told the quarterbacks essentially to leave because his son was coming. Now, if his dad don't have influence to you, that's fine. I look at it completely different. His dad had a ton of influence. His dad had influence of why he went to Jackson State. His dad had influence on the NIL deals that he signed, and he had a huge impact on why he went to Colorado. That's just a fact, Reem. It's a fact. And it ain't no way around that. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is real, and it's a reality, and it's true.
And the thing about it is like I said, when you keep harping on that, the same way that people keep harping on Bronny being in the NBA, all because they dad. This is at some point in time, what you're saying is that those boys aren't good enough to earn it and be where they at. And that is not true. Shedeur, whenever you get through with it, was a very, very good quarterback at each schools he played at. He put up great numbers at Jackson State, and then he did the same thing at Colorado. The same exact thing. So at some point in time, let's stop talking about who his daddy is and talk about what he does and give him credit for what he does or what he doesn't do. And let's quit talking about that he's Deion's son. Period.
You can't get away from that, right? That's what I'm saying. You have to be consistent, in my opinion, because
I am being consistent. You can stop talking about him being Deion's son because he's now Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback at the Cleveland Browns.
Either you want to be royalty or you don't, man. That's if he royalty. You think there's ever be a time where you talk about the Mannings and you don't talk about Peyton, Eli, Archie, Arch. It comes with the territory, and if you ain't built for that, you ain't built for it. Your name gonna come up in every conversation when you say his son. When you say Shedeur, Shiloh, Deion is coming next. It's the same thing with the Mannings. It's the same thing with anybody, just like the Currys. That comes with the territory, and if you're not built like that, which he always says they are, what are we talking about? Everybody talks about how Eli Manning was wrong for what he did on draft day, and they say the Mannings were wrong for trying to manipulate the draft. You know what they say? So what? I won 2 Super Bowls. Get with it. Ball out.
Exactly. So we hold conversation about Eli and Peyton, talking about Eli and Peyton as the players that they were. We talk about every time we talk about Steph Curry. When do anybody even mention Dale Curry anymore? It's about Steph Curry being who Steph Curry is. So what I'm saying is, it's come a time that we talk about Bronny and Shedeur for who
because he's eclipsed his dad.
So
that's because he's eclipsed
his
dad.
So give Shedeur and Bronny the chance. Bronny will never eclipse his dad, and Shedeur is not going probably eclipse Deion as we are.
Peyton and Eli did too. It's the same standard. That's what I'm saying. It's still daddy ball. Shedeur got work to do.
No, Peyton and Eli eclipsed their daddy because their daddy was never really that good. Period.
But Deion was. So, and that's the whole point.
So my point is, eventually, can we talk about Shedeur for Shedeur's play and what he does, and quit talking about everything being because of Deion? He's with the Cleveland Browns now, so let's see what he does as far as the talent that he is as a player.
That's what I was saying from the jump.
That is not what you said.
It goes back to Deion, and he's been. I said he's a 5th round pick, and he wasn't that good off the jump. And then y'all start going about this player and that player and how he was wronged in the draft. I speak
because he's that good of a player that he was wrong. And our point was that he was that good of a player. We didn't talk about him being Deion's son. We talked about Shedeur, the way he played at Colorado, and he was that good of a player that he should have been drafted back.
And y'all lose out on the fact that he went to the draft unprepared, just like everybody said. Y'all believe what people say. All reports coming out of Cleveland said that he was playing well in practice. Okay, good. All reports came out of draft that he was unprepared. He didn't
that was disproved. That was disproved that he wasn't prepared and that he didn't go in the interview well. That was already disproved.
I'm happy you said that. It was disproved that he was showing up in practice, because if he was showing up, he would be playing. And that's what I mean. You can't just pick and choose. If it's plenty of reports that came out that he was not prepared for the interviews. He didn't throw, and he wasn't that dude. Just stay consistent. That's my only point. He did not do well. He did not do well in the interviews. I've said that. He told certain teams he wasn't going to play for them. He told plenty of teams he wasn't going to play for them.
You heard him say that?
Not go in there and do that.
That you heard him tell teams that. What teams did he tell he wasn't going to play for? Because you just making up.
They
stuff
said he was. Okay, that's just like saying you're making up stuff that everybody was saying he was playing well. Ring, come on, man. Plenty of people said that Deion said there's teams that he's going to tell his son that they weren't going to play for him.
He did.
He said his son was not going to play for certain teams that were high up in the draft.
Shedeur told teams he wasn't going to play for him. Who did? Now you're talking about something Deion said.
That's their camp, Rain. All of his advice he was getting from his dad.
It does not matter. Just we're on the same show together. Just because you say something don't mean I said it.
I ain't your dad, though. It makes a difference when your dad.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
His dad. He's clearly said, okay. Okay.
Let's move on. What I wanted to talk about today too also was that spitting incident the other day, and we saw that it's moved on to college football, where we had a player in the Florida game that spit, and then in this situation it actually cost them the game because they got a penalty at a key situation in the game. So now the penalties and the fines have come down from the NFL, where the Carter was suspended, well, basically for the game, but they already using the game that he set out for the suspension, and he was fined $57,000. Well, looking at the video, it shows clearly that Dak spit between the offensive lineman over in his direction and then made a face towards him. Do y'all feel any different after seeing what Dak did on?
Hold on, y'all. I ain't cutting you off. But Chad said, just listen.
A couple teams that I won't allow him to play for. This is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. We ain't got to get back there for me to understand what's not prominent for my son. I'm not doing it.
And if he doesn't listen to you.
Who? No, you must be.
I rest my case, man. He said and the team talking about was Cleveland.
Well, he's playing for Cleveland.
I'm not going to keep arguing. He said he wasn't going to play for certain teams.
Can we moved on? Can we move on? Because we just stated that Dion said something, and I said Shador didn't say it. So why are we going back to that now? Because we just stated that Dion said it, and I said Shador didn't say it. We didn't hear Shador say it.
I'm replying to Chad that said that was disproved, man. Dion said
no. We said disproved about you talking about him not interviewing well. That's what was talking about. So we move past that though. Let's move past and we're talking about what it is, because that what you're saying was disproved. That he didn't interview well, that he wasn't prepared, and all that stuff. That was disproved. But so now back to the point to the point of the spitting incident. So now we're seeing that it's trickling down into college football. So do y'all think that this is now could become a problem, and next that we can see players spitting on each other in high school and this and that, because they're seeing it happen at an NFL level, and the lower levels want to emulate what goes on in the pro game?
I don't think so.
Yeah. First thing they need to do is they need to punish Dak Prescott for doing that. He instigated a situation. He threw rocks and hit his hands, and he's wrong.
Oh, you know, I thought you were mixed up. You mean Dak should get in trouble for real?
Dak should, yes.
Did you see what he did?
Well, what he did was, bro, it's like he started it, and then the second guy got caught, and he's gonna get $57,000 taken from him, missed 2 games to possibly hurt his team, and Dak did it, and they got it on tape. They need to go back, investigate it, and suspend Dak the same amount of games that they suspended the other kid for, and start there. And
I ain't rocking with that.
And all these kids that spit on each other in these college games and all that, man, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Let them sit down for a season so they'll know that stuff ain't gonna be tolerated, man. Don't start doing goofy stuff, spitting on each other and doing all that. It's disgusting.
Some level,
it's disgusting. And if it's that big of a deal, then don't do it. Like, this is one of those things where say, okay, it's a stiff punishment, but you don't have to do it. If you do it, then you're accepting this stiff punishment that we're about to lay out and tell you what it is. You missed the season if you spit on somebody, and then there it is.
But he didn't spit on Jalen Carter. He spit. People spit all the time. People spit all the time.
He spit like he was trying to spit on him. It didn't reach him, and then Jalen Carter responded. So this is my problem that I have with what Dak Prescott did, and not ever saying that it was okay for Jalen Carter to spit back and spit on him. That's just nasty and something that shouldn't have took place. But Jalen Carter has already lost money because he was supposed to be a number 1 draft pick, correct? That failed because of the incident with having the car accident and killing 2 people in the car accident. So he's already lost money from that standpoint. What I didn't like about it, to see when Dak spit and they did the close-up and saw the face that Dak made at him, like, yeah, it was kind of like a taunting type of thing of what Dak did. So now I don't like it to see two black men acting like this in the middle of the thing, because now you are taking money away from him again, because he's going to lose money again on the back end. When it comes time for the contract negotiation and all that again, he's going to lose money, regardless if it's that, oh, he's supposed to sign for 120, and now they say, oh, yeah, he played well, but we only going to offer you 110. It still killed his market value by doing this, and I think Dak is wrong for stirring this stuff up and starting this stuff to happen. But my thought process is that when seeing now that it happens then in a college game, where does this go from here?
That's what I said. You got to kick them kids out. You got to set an example, or just hopefully you don't have to do any of that stuff. Hopefully you'll just set the rule and they know that it's too stiff for them to mess with, so they just don't do it. But man, nip it in the bud.
I just think that to a certain degree, they'll never do that, because you got people that are just out on the field, they nasty like that.
Spitting on each other. That's a part of the game.
On multiple occasions in the game, I have, and I think that I've never seen it in high school, but I've seen it in college damn near every year I played.
But wait a minute. Well, I can understand maybe during the course of the game with contacting and like combat is what I meant to say, but not on the coin flip. They're not spitting on each other on the coin flip.
They shouldn't be spitting on each other.
But I think in the case of Dak and
is that what happened in the college game? They spit at each other in the coin flip, or it was during the course of the game?
Right. No, it was during. I've never seen nobody do it. I've seen teams at the coin flip. Right.
Yeah, this wasn't at the coin flip. This was during the game that they spit on each other. But Bone, you said
it was before the first play of the game, though, right? Huh?
No, it was after the kickoff. So it was before the first actual series starting, but the kickoff had taken place. So if you call it the kickoff for the first play of the game or not, the kickoff took place. A player got hurt. They standing there waiting as he's receiving medical attention, and then the incident took place.
Oh, and that's what happened with Dak. Okay.
Right. Okay. That's what happened with Dak. No, the college incident was in the game almost at the end of the game. Like I said, that penalty cost them 15 yards. That literally cost them the game.
Yeah, and they playing against South Florida, and Florida. That's nasty work. And he spit in his face. That was just like, God, Lee, what are you thinking about?
Was he ejected from the game?
I don't know.
I think he got a personal foul, but I almost, you got to get kicked out of the game, I would think.
Yeah, I think he did get kicked out, but that the penalty cost them major yardage that led to South Florida scoring and them losing the game.
So what should the coach do?
They hadn't came down with any penalties yet. I hadn't heard yet, but I think they were probably waiting to see how the NFL reacted to their incident before coming down with their penalty. Which a lot of times that happens, that they're waiting for somebody else to see what the precedent is going to be set for an incident like that happen.
I think what would you give is trying to doing that?
If you lose the game and all that, what would be the penalty
in college?
Yeah.
Right now, see, I think it's a different landscape, because back in the day, that's what I'm saying. I've seen that happen in games, and I've seen it happen, and people don't get kicked out of a game. You get a personal foul penalty, 15 yards, and they kept playing. But I think now, especially with social media, and you have so many cameras on these big time games in college, especially now that you got players getting paid, there's definitely going to be some sort of suspension. I think that's what Florida is waiting on, to hear what the NCAA is going to do with this situation. But I think that, he's going to get suspended, maybe one. That's why I said in college, one game can derail everything. Like that game, it's going to Florida up. It'll be hard for them to get back in. I mean, they play in the SEC, so they may be able to bounce back. But one game in college, you lose a game, it can be the end of your playoff aspiration.
They may be able to bounce back. They could possibly run the table for the rest of the year, or they lose a game in the SEC. but that loss to South Florida could cost them as far as being in the playoffs.
Yeah,
because of where South Florida falls at. That could definitely cause them. And
I
so
think South Florida was ranked though. They actually having a decent sort of start to the season. That's the one thing that may save them. But if they hit a bad patch of the season and they fall out of the top 25, then that can hurt Florida more.
it's good that
near the
they
end of the
lost
season.
early.
now what if Florida, because if Florida State runs the table and they win and go undefeated, there go one the ACC spot taken up. Then you still got Clemson in the ACC. You know what I'm saying? It could that loss could really hurt them as far as having national championship aspirations. And that's what they went into the season.
As long as they focus on that SEC play, though, if they come out and win the SEC, they're gonna be good. You get that automatic bid. I highly doubt that they would beat Georgia this year, but I don't know about them winning the SEC. But they still, I mean, they haven't played any SEC.
They're in the AAC, I mean the ACC, right?
They're in the SEC.
Oh, whoa, that's even harder then. So now
Very
they gotta beat not only, but then they still play Florida State out of conference, right? So they play all the well this year. I don't know if they play Miami again, but they keep the tradition with Florida State and Florida. But I don't know if they play Miami this year.
I got a question. I got a question for y'all, and tell me what you think. So, when you have a player, right, and they make a big mistake in a game like that, let's say they spit on somebody, or let's say they fumble, or they do something that costs you the game, and it's one player, it's obvious that they did it. Is there a situation where the coach should punish that player and make them run and make them like get in trouble for doing that, making a mistake in the game?
In college, I think you can do that. Maybe in the pros, but I think there's a difference between.
What about Derrick Henry?
Oh,
that's not that.
No,
that's a bang
play.
That's a difference between somebody spitting and you fumbling the ball. Like, no.
But I'm saying, is there any situation where a player could have fumbled the ball like Derrick Henry did and get in trouble with it, in trouble for it with the coach?
Yes.
It affects it. So in the pros, it may affect your playing time. In college, it could affect your playing time. And if fumbling is a problem for you, then you may have to do extra drills and all that type of stuff, or even run or something like that, as far as with fumbling being an issue. But the spitting on somebody and cost it a game because of doing something like that, that's completely different. With getting some type of personal foul and doing something stupid. That we're not talking about like Bone said in Derrick Henry's situation is a bang play. You may happen that somebody's helmet just hit the ball in the right spot or something like that, and you fumble. So in some of them situations, you can't even get that mad at as a coach. Things like that happen in a game. But to do something like spit on somebody and cost us penalties, and that's showing that you don't have no discipline. And that's a total different situation.
Okay, so what about if like a defensive end or somebody go and rough up the quarterback, like it's fourth down, but on fourth down they go in and then hit them late and get a personal foul. In the pros, that player will have to get punished for doing that in practice.
Not necessarily. You said in practice?
Yeah.
You can't hit the quarterback in practice at all. You can't touch the quarterback.
No, I'm talking about in the game. In the game
that
they do it in the game, but then in practice, will they get in trouble for it? Like have to run?
No, because a lot of defensive coordinators they're gonna want that level of aggression.
If you do something where you hit a quarterback in the NFL, depending on who the quarterback is, and you get a personal foul, you're probably gonna hear from the NFL with some type of penalty, because if they deem it
you get a fine for getting a personal foul in the game.
If you hit a quarterback in the wrong
unnecessary roughness on the quarterback, most of the time you're gonna get a fine. I think that is an interesting point you bring up though, bro, because there's a difference between making a bonehead play and making a mistake. Like you said, Derrick Henry fumbling the ball, that's one thing. But if, say for instance, you break out on a long run and you fumble the ball trying to dance, go into the end zone, and you fumble the ball.
Yeah,
we got to have a talk. That's stupid. But
in practice,
Oh no!
In the game, you might not see the field again, especially if you do it in college. You might not see the field again.
So like Will just made a point. On Saturday, Syracuse won. They won the game. Their coach was upset with their performance, and he made them run sprints in their uniforms after the game. That's the type of stuff that happened in college. I've been on teams before where we got off the bus coming back from road trips, and the coach was mad, and we went in and had practice after the game. That take place. That does take place.
But is the coach doing that for real, or is that showmanship? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with that?
I don't know. I look at that. I look at that and the difference between what Reem just explained and what happened I didn't know about that with Syracuse. I think that is. I don't necessarily agree with that because you're sort of showing up your team. If you go to your practice facility and we go straight there and we gotta get you tighten us up, I can see that, but I'm not one for it. You know what I mean? Most of the games, that's ACC. They're still ACC. And no, they Big Ten now, right? Syracuse? No, they're ACC. But they're going to be on TV. That was my whole point in bringing that up. They're going to be on TV, even if it's regional. And let's see, you don't want if I'm a player on that team, I feel like, you know what I mean? In that game, we didn't play to our best abilities, but you didn't to your best abilities. How about you get out here and start taking some of these bullets in front of the press conference or whatnot? I just don't agree with that. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a good way to. I don't agree with that at the end of the day. Not that you can't reprimand or get your players right, but it's behind. You know, I've heard a million of coaches say, you know, we got to handle this behind closed doors, and I don't think it's never going to be a good outcome of you making someone run at the end of a game on TV.
No, it wasn't at the end of the game on TV. They went in and did all the stuff after the game and all that stuff. Stadium clear out. But hey, I don't like what you did. Hey, we back out on the field. We have practice now. Get on this line and run, and that takes place. No, nobody's going to do it.
I can see that.
Yeah, nobody's going to do that. Like, oh, the game over with. Nah, we ain't going into the locker room. Get on the line. No, that's not what happened.
I would totally be opposed to that.
We did our post game stuff because you got. It's post games interviews and all that type of stuff that you have to do for the media. So the coaches got to go do all that stuff anyway. And then it's like, no, we're not leaving to go to post game meal. We going out here. Let's go. We running sprints first.
I wonder, did the coaches and the assistant coaches run too? I wonder who blew the whistle. Who blows the whistle and says run? Because the coaches obviously had a problem not firing their team up and making them give the effort. Like, that's a lot on coaching, man. You know, you got to coach that effort out of the kids.
No,
and you say that
you can't coach. You can't coach effort.
If you have to, you must. Though
no, you cannot coach effort,
man.
You cannot coach effort. Effort has to come from within. I cannot make you motivated to come play. You got to care enough to put your all in here and play hard. So that's the first thing that's first. I could teach you. I could teach you skills. I could teach you this. I could put schemes to put you in a position, this and that. But I cannot coach your effort. There is nothing that anybody is going to say that's going to have you that motivated to go play. And if it does, and if you get hyped up off of words, it's only going to last for so long. It's only going to last for 1 or 2 series. It's only going to last for a quarter. It ain't going to be able to maintain that for a game.
You might need those 1 or 2 series. You might need that. You might need that when you need it in order to get you over the hump, though.
You need a whole game, regardless of what it is. If it's football for 60 minutes or a basketball game for 40 minutes, you need your players competing and putting effort in for the entire time that it go in. I cannot coach you to have effort. I cannot make you have heart. I cannot make you compete hard. I cannot make you be not scared to be out there.
That's the reason that the coach absolves themselves from responsibility in the loss. Then, if he thinks that the way that hold on, let me say this: if he thinks that the way that a loss can happen without it being his fault is to blame, not a loss, but it wasn't what he wanted. It wasn't what he visioned, you know? So it's like, all right. So you did not push them in that direction because they're playing to get with like the coach's direction. I lost my thought. You go ahead. Go ahead. I lost my thought where I was going.
This is what I'm saying, because as a coach, it's my fault if I make bad substitutions. It's my fault if I don't put you in the right schemes, the right things and like that for you to succeed. That's my fault. But if you go out on the field and you don't have enough heart and just go competing, so now effort, now going to do it. Now you might get beat by somebody or something like that, but you out there playing hard and doing the things and trying to do it. But if you don't go out there with the effort, I cannot coach your effort. There's not a coach in the world that can coach effort.
They pick the players. They pick those players. You pick that kid, and now you mad because he's being who he is. And you say, oh, he didn't give no effort. You picked him. That's a personality trait, an effortless type of person. So why would you pick somebody like that? And now you and if you can't control effort, then why make them run? What's the running for? You can't, even if you make them run, right? That ain't gonna make them play harder. So what's the point?
The point is that
instead of making them run, attempt to motivate them, show them the reason why, show them what playing hard does.
How do you show them that? How do you show them that? Cuz
got to be the coach and figure it out. You got to talk to the player the right way to charge that battery, man. You got to get to him. You coaching. You got to show him a lot of shit as the coach.
Hold up. So
is one thing, but the drive and the vision is another.
Let me tell you this. So you telling me as a business owner, you can coach somebody to come in there and put effort in and work hard. If they lazy, they lazy. If they're not doing that. You could coach somebody to do it. And maybe you didn't know. And maybe you didn't know.
Coach, I could.
No, you can't. You can't coach effort. You can't make nobody play hard. You can't make nobody play hard in no form of
fashion. When you were
no words you got
that you were able to make.
Do coaches try? Do coaches try?
Kids play harder, bro?
Huh?
Do you feel like you were able to make kids play harder when you did coach?
Absolutely. And the way you make kids play harder is you let them play how they want to play. And they will play as hard as they can because they are in charge. You give them, you see what they like to do, right? And then you coach that. And then you'll see that juice going. But when you keep trying to tell them, don't go behind the back, don't throw the no look, don't cross, don't shoot the three, don't do this, don't do that. Like that's what's making them play they are not playing how they want to. So if you let them be free, they'll play much harder than you anticipate. They'll go with the flow. Like
hypothetically speaking, what if you have a kid that you, like you said, to your point, you said that they play how they want to play, but in doing that, they like to take a lot of bad shots. How do you then encourage them to? How do you correct that if your remedy is to let them play how they want to play? I'm just saying hypothetically.
It depends. If I really I think that's a reality. If I recruited this kid and I like the way he plays and I like the way he can get to his spots and all of this and that, but he misses shots, I think that you should keep a kid like that and then, man, develop him with shooting. And you gotta coach him and make him sit him down. You gotta work with him, like, bro, come on. You are taking terrible shots. Get to the rim. Get to the rim. Get to the rim. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So now you're not letting him.
If they taking bad shots repeatedly, that's bad basketball.
Look, all of this is in context. It's not razor sharp. This is a fluid situation. You have to. It is though. You can't just say like, never shoot that shot again, or you can't say keep shooting it every time. If you're gunning out your teammates, then okay, look, that's not the philosophy of this particular team. Like, we're gonna play how you want to play within this arena. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, listen, we're going to pass the ball when you see a teammate ahead. We're going to get the ball out quick. We're going to play fast defense. All right, but what defense do y'all like to play? All right, well, y'all think this work best? Bet, let's do that. What you want to do? Boom. What's working? And like all the positive reinforcement to me is what gets the most out of the kids instead of being critical. Like when I asked, should a player ever be punished for fumbling the ball or something like that? Y'all said the right thing. Y'all said playing time. I mean, but not making them run laps and stuff like that and suicides, you know. And this is going to what you said, cuz let me see you want to play by your effort, like in practice, in this and that, you know, like that's like in practice. You don't have you shouldn't be coaching effort in practice, but in the game, you might have to light they fire a little bit because of the moment. Because of their youth, their inexperience, you got to stabilize them with the coaching. You know what I'm saying? And then, because sometimes they might just be dazed out there, like, damn, this is a big situation. You got to snap them out of that, you know, and turn them on.
So this is what I say to that. So a lot of what you said. So if you got a player, like you said, I let them shoot threes freely. Hey, just play how you want to play. If you shoot 8% from the 3-point line, you shoot 20% from the free throw line, I will tell you, don't shoot that shit no more, because that's not what you do well. And if that's not what you do well, you're not just got to come in any grade. Because if that's not what you want, if you want to be a 3-point shooter, you go work on your shot and be able to shoot and show that you can shoot. Because when that's what we always have a saying. You have somebody to shoot 20%, 8%, 10% for the 3-point line. Hey, I'm open, coach. You're open for a reason. Because everybody in here know you can't shoot the ball and nobody's checking you. So that means stop shooting that and do something that you do well. You can shoot threes when you're able to shoot threes. So you cannot give, because what's the use of coaching if you just let them completely be freely? It's cool to have an open concept and play team ball and we move the ball, but we're playing basketball. And then, but I'm not trying to tell you not to break a player down, not to do this, not to do that. Well, there's a concept of what we're doing, and I just cannot let you go. And my thing, and so what I'm telling you is that you can't teach effort. Effort is being able to compete on a field, on a court or a field, have heart, this and that. You cannot put that in somebody. I can try to coach you and help you, give you skills to help you develop confidence and stuff. But if you don't have that heart and that dog to want to go out on the court to beat it, to play hard and this, that, you could be playing completely bad, but you could still play hard. You can go out there and put your all in. Now, I don't agree with what the coach did the other day with running players after a game, but I'm telling you that this is what goes on in college. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't agree with embarrassing players and doing things to embarrass your players. So what we may have done was I may have told y'all to leave, but y'all be back here in 2 hours. And now we're going through something in practice or this, that, if I feel it was that bad. Or I tell you, man, get away from me for the rest of the day. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. And then when we get back to practice, now we're upping, you know what I'm saying, the intensity of something. And hey, I can create an environment to make you have to compete. And in that environment, if you don't compete, you're going to show that you don't have that in you. So now you don't need to talk to me about how much playing time I get. Because it's been shown in practice that you didn't want to compete, because I'm going to make that environment be that competitive.
Fortunately for me, in my situation, I never had to practice after a game. I showed up and really showed out. I just had, not to toot my own horn, but, when I got out there, it was about that business. Made it happen.
I wonder, why does a player go just out?
Shameless plug.
I hear that all the time. Like, you know what? When
you said you hear what all the time, bro?
Teams say this like at the end of the game, like when they'll be in their post-game press conferences and stuff, and they'll say, man, tonight we just didn't play hard and we just didn't do this, or we just, I've heard them say like we just missed shots, which I understand, but sometimes they say we just didn't play hard, but next game we'll play harder, we'll play better. You don't play your hardest every game.
Sometimes you don't play
In
as
all
hard as
honesty,
the other team that came out. It could be from fatigue. It could be many reasons that you didn't step up to the challenge that night and didn't put the effort in, and you realize it.
What? I don't understand.
I think especially when
You
you think
don't
about
play
college,
hard. You don't
I
And
think
play,
when
pro,
you I think when
huh?
you think about college, man, it takes a great deal of focus and commitment to every game every week. And I'm talking about football because you only play once a week. But I think the same sort of mentality has to go in with basketball or any collegiate level sport. And what
Mm,
get lost is I think a lot of people think that your maturity level is that of a professional. And a lot of these kids are 18, 19 years old. You don't know what happened during that week, the day before, or whatever happens for a young man or young female for that matter that's going to impact how they play. You don't know if something could have happened with a family member. It's a lot of these first times being away from home, and that really impacts what the end product is that you see when the lights cut on. I mean, something as
exactly.
little for my mate. He was from Naples, Florida. He had never seen snow before in his life. He was shook the week going into the game, and I knew he wasn't going to have a bad game because he had never been out in snow, and
mhm.
he was totally like mentally, his mind wasn't right having to
Yeah.
play in cold weather. It and that little thing he was like, bro, I don't want to play in this. Like, period. He'd never been in snow. And if you 19 years old, 18 years old, and you've never seen or experienced that, you don't know how you're gonna perform. People have family members die. You don't know how that's gonna impact what you see. All you see as a fan is they're not playing hard. They're messing up. He fumbled. He sucks. He missed that shot. He should have never made that. You got to make that. You got to play better. And you don't know this kid. It probably took everything in him to even
Just to
make
be
it to
out
the
there.
arena. So I just think, in college specifically, and not just college, in pros too, you got
Yeah,
bigger problems to deal with. And you don't know
exactly.
what they're going through before the game starts.
And this is why I say you can't coach effort, because if you are mentally going through something, like you said, you got kids in college and they man or something that's passed away. What am I gonna say to you that's gonna make you
Play harder.
play harder or this and that? Because you may already be mentally checked out. There's nothing I can say. The best thing I can do is try to be supportive of you and love you as a person and put the sport in perspective and let it be known that there's other things in life that's bigger than this sport, and I'm here for you. And then hopefully you can compartmentalize for the amount of time that we out on this court and go play. And then so the fatigue stuff, like I don't like Bones said, with football, they play once a week. So I don't know how that fatigue factor hits them, which I know it does because it's still a long season with football and they experience fatigue. But you have other sports that play multiple games in a week, that travel multiple places in a week. They may be in this city, this state, this or that on Tuesday, another state on Friday, and all that stuff plays into it. That can break you down and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's why I don't believe in trying to embarrass players was doing what Syracuse coach did. And when I
Mhm.
said that this is what goes on in college a lot, and I've been a victim of that, of coming off of a bus and being like, oh, we going straight in here and practicing. Like, man, you for real? And then and what ended up happening is we like, oh, you on that? Okay, watch what I do. You know what I'm saying? And we was in there on BS and this and that, and then it was like, oh, just get out the gym. We holler at you. You know what I'm saying? I've been when I was in junior college. We had a coach one time that he knew that we were all trying to get down to go to Indianapolis when the Circle City was jumping. So we had practice at like 4 o'clock. So we like, all right, we be out of here by at least 6:30. We can get in the shower, jump in the car, head on to Indianapolis. This dude we look up, practice started at 4. We like, man, it's 7 o'clock. And we gonna be in here all night. Bet we don't. And we walked out. And we walked out on him. We're like, I bet we don't.
He's a rebellious athlete,
No,
man. I
no,
don't know what
just
you're doing.
sometimes the coaches get ridiculous with stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
We gonna
they
be in here all night.
Yeah, you get ridiculous because you knew we was trying to do something. But there's more to life than just the sport. And the kids got to be able to experience that because and a lot of this stuff too, and I know I was a victim of this. I definitely suffered from sleep deprivation when I was in college. And the reason why is because in college, you still want to experience college. You still want to go out to a party. You still want to have fun, this and that. And it's hard to do that as an athlete. So what ends up happening, because you gotta go, you gotta get up early in the morning to go to workouts, you got meetings, you got this, you got that, you got practice, you gotta still go to classes, you gotta get work done for classes, this and that, but you still want to experience somewhat of college. And to be honest, I really didn't enjoy or experience Tennessee State like it was until I went back. When I went back to visit, with taking Bone down there with me and everything, that was when I really got a chance to see what homecoming was really like. I was able to kick it a little bit on homecoming, but it was a problem because we had practice. You know what I'm saying? We had practice on Friday night.
What time do practice start?
It depends. You know what I'm saying? It depends what the schedule is. I mean, some schools
practice started like 4 a.m. and is that true? 5 a.m.
No, I've had some 5:30s. I ain't never had no 4s, but I've had 5:30s in the morning where we started and had practice.
Yeah, we typically this is off season though. It's not while school is going on, but you pretty much practice all day though. You're up by 5. We would have breakfast, but you had your morning session that'll go maybe 2.5, 3 hours, but then you have meetings, you have lunch.
What do they do in the meetings? What's a meeting?
You have position meetings, and then you have during the first break, we have position meetings. So you go through defensive backs, you in a class, it's school. You learning what your position do, you in school.
What's going on in it? What do they say? Like, okay, listen. Oh, they teaching you your route. If you're a receiver,
they're teaching you coverage. You're going to look at film. You're going to look at what you did wrong. Hopefully you didn't have a bad first, early session, but you go through film, then you do lunch. Hopefully you'll get a minute to sleep for a little bit, but then you have a second practice. You're going to have pretty much maybe 30, 40 minutes, just recoup, recover. You might have sometimes we have like an hour and a half, like special teams. It just depends on what it calls for. But then you don't finish up till like 9 o'clock. That's our last meeting, and then you're back.
You're late to these meetings too, man.
No, it ain't a big deal. You just gonna be. You just gonna
now you're gonna have some extra stuff doing.
Throwing up after you get done running.
Yeah, because now you're gonna be running. Tennessee State, the best school in the land, still open. Unlike Morehouse, I think they've been shut down. but being late to meetings and stuff like that in college ain't an option. Nah. That's not an option with stuff. So you're gonna be on time and stuff, this and that, because they got a coach designed that's there just to do conditioning. That's his job. So when you messing up and be up at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Now you up at 5:30 in the morning on the track on Saturday because you was late to stuff during the week. And so this what goes on, man. College athletics is extremely tough. It is extremely tough. And then, like I said, and you still carrying between 12 to 15 hours of classes that you have to be in class. You got to study. You got to do the work on this and that. So it is a lot of factors that go on. So like Bone said, with people just seeing you on the field and like, oh, he messed up. He did this, that. You don't know what they went through just to be able to get there. And it's
not only that.
Nobody deserves punishment and nobody deserves to be graded. I mean, if somebody
you deserve all that.
If somebody does something dumb, you really just say, man, they went through a lot today.
No, not depending on how dumb it is. I think because wins and losses still matter.
Yeah, and
exactly.
And despite all the hardships,
so all of that shit don't matter what they done been through. It depends on what you did.
It depends on what you did, but I think that you also have to take into consideration.
They didn't play hard because they done been through some shit today.
No, I think you have to think about each person individually, because I know for me, sort of to piggyback off what Reem was saying, when I got to school, it wasn't even as much I think I benefited from going to a lower level school. I was at a D2 school, but the schedule itself was crazy. But where it benefited me was I didn't realize how important until I went away to school the holidays were. And we didn't get to go home. Like my
Oh,
first year, we played in the playoffs, and you don't go home for like Thanksgiving, everybody out of school, you still on campus playing. And why I say it somewhat benefited me, if you go to big time schools, all of that you miss. You're not gonna be at home on Thanksgiving. If you
Right.
play, and if you play basketball, you probably ain't gonna be home for Christmas. We finished up most of the time like Christmas Eve because we played playoffs. But even with that, sometimes you would get home for Christmas,
that's it.
and that's because I was in Ohio. And those things matter, man. You see kids like really depressed because you
Hmm.
don't get to go home, but you got to play a game. And especially big time ball, man, some of the biggest games of the season, Michigan, Ohio State, they play on Thanksgiving weekend. 18-year-olds, man, if family means a lot and you celebrate Thanksgiving, that's a big deal. You know, people going to school all the way from, and
Are
you know,
we
and just
so wait
missing.
a minute now. I don't know what we're talking about. Are we giving reasons why is what are we saying these are reasons
It's a
why it's
reality.
understandable for kids to not play hard because they
No, no,
going
no,
through
No,
no.
no, no. I'm
No.
saying it
holiday
impacts your
stuff.
mental. Your mental is
That's what
way
I'm
more
saying.
important
So
than your
what?
physical.
Okay,
It,
and what? All right.
it's not
You
excuses
heartless, bro.
because fans don't care because they done bet on games and all this and that, and
Exactly.
all they care about is the outcome. We're just as athletes are giving an insight on what goes on as far
When
as
people say, "Oh, we didn't play hard," it's because they going through some other shit you don't know about.
and we're not saying that's why you shouldn't play hard, because you still should try to go out there and give your all. But sometimes your all ain't good enough for that day because of X, Y, and Z that's going on in your life. And like Bone said,
Mhm.
from the time I left here in '93, I never seen Thanksgiving in Dayton until I was out of college. I never seen Thanksgiving. I never had a Thanksgiving dinner. So
We
then
played every
now
year for Thanksgiving. That
and
was a
now you get
bull.
to
I hated it.
talking about going when you go to different colleges, right? So now when I done went to PWIs and I got coaches that predominantly white institution, you know what I'm saying?
Predominantly white.
So when I'm at PWIs and when I got white coaches and the coach told me, oh, come over to the house for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna have a team over.
You was eating
That food,
stuffing. You was over
right?
there
That
eating
food ain't the
stuffing.
same as what you used to get into at home. So that's all. So even though they trying to say, "Oh, we're having the Thanksgiving dinner as a team," and you sitting there like, "Man, what did I just eat? This was ridiculous!" Like, you know what I'm saying? So you hoping you got a black assistant coach that's cool, that's afterwards like, "Hey man, come on to the house. My wife's gonna cook, so we got we got some other food over there for you." You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, because and that can wear on you, man. So now you away from home, you don't
It
get to
got
see your
me.
family and everything, man. That's not cool. And then sometimes you got games, or you got games right around there. And now you going to go play the day before Thanksgiving. Some tournaments go on Thanksgiving and stuff like that you see on TV. And these kids are away, and it's a sacrifice. And it can be hard.
Do you think that college should think about that and just give the kids those weeks off, like give them
Nope.
Thanksgiving
It's
week
too much
off,
money.
give them
Too much
Christmas
money.
week off, just
No, it's
because it's so hard for them to play in these games?
I want to see
a
Ohio State,
sacrifice.
Michigan play, and it ain't no excuse. And I
It's
wouldn't
a sac.
change my experience. I wouldn't
It's a
change my
sac.
experience.
Exactly. It's a sacrifice that you go through, and you're not saying that, okay, this is an excuse for it. We're just giving an insight, like I said, on what actually happens and what the mind state is of somebody. So I'll give y'all an example. When I was at Tennessee State, when I was leading the country in assists, a couple years before that, my grandmother had passed away, and I was holding her hand when she passed away. I used to have nightmares of that incident, of when that took place, and I didn't sleep. So that season that I'm playing at Tennessee State and I'm leading the country in assists, I'm probably averaging 2 hours of sleep a night because I used to have nightmares and I was scared to go to sleep. Do you think anybody cared? Nobody cared. It was just what I'm going to do on the court. You know what I'm saying? And that you got to produce. I was literally at sometimes that I was going crazy because I was sleep deprived. But I'm still out here that I have to perform on a basketball court. And nobody cares that if it's not rolling good for me that day because I'm dead tired and I ain't my energy level done dropped. I'm dealing with a back injury. Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it to say that to have sympathy or anything from anybody. This is just the realities of what goes on in college athletics. And so therefore, what I am saying is before you quick to judge some of these kids out here playing, sometimes a little empathy and sympathy is needed to have, and just enjoy the game. And if somebody have a bad game, they have a bad game. Don't make it something personal where you're attacking them personally.
And so I wonder what type of coach for Syracuse doesn't know all of this stuff, and to humiliate the kids because they're going through whatever it is they're doing, make them run.
Well, my initial understanding was that happened immediately after the game. I don't necessarily feel that it's as embarrassing if he like, look, we won the game. We had a bad showing, though. Our standard is still the standard. So if everybody gone, we had to go. Like I said, if it was something that happened off camera and nobody knew about it, I can understand that. Coaches had their things. It is what it is. But
yeah, he like, man, let me
my thought
y'all
was
up, man.
that
Come on, let's go out to this field real quick.
we gotta get right.
Let's
we
run, y'all.
right.
Man, we gotta play
but
better.
This the thing with nowadays though, cuz ain't nothing off camera. Somebody got a camera rolling at all times.
I'm totally against it. If somebody's saying it, because they have a way to keep, what happening in all these teams' practices private. That's why I'm saying they should, in my opinion, they should have. If it's after a game, we're going straight to the practice facility, because then you can close down and we can be in the practice facility and do what we do. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you doing something on camera that needs to be held in a private setting.
He did it in the arena where they played it. Oh, it happened right there in the arena.
I'm against that then. I'm against that because you are going to have cameras and people going to see what you're doing. I think you just, at that point, you are trying to humiliate your team.
Yeah, because he didn't even have them put on practice uniforms. They were still out there in their game uniform.
I don't agree with that. That ain't a good look, because that then becomes a story, and it's all about what the kids didn't do right, not about some of what you didn't do right as well.
Exactly.
And it's a team effort. And I think even if we all have to be punished or reprimanded, whatever the case may be, that's something that should have happened in practice. No ifs, ands, or buts about that on my end.
And the thing about it too, as a coach, if I'm coaching a team and I got players and they're not playing hard, I'm about to start substitute. Even if my players aren't as good, this and that, I'm about to start substitute because I'm gonna have somebody that's gonna play hard. And somewhere in there, that's going to trigger you to be, let's say, to play hard. So, because regardless of what you go through, you can play hard. That don't mean, like in basketball, your shot ain't going to be on every game. That's not going to be rolling every game.
Ain't that coaching somebody to play hard in that way? Like you're bringing effort out of them. I mean, yeah, in a way, you like showing them what you're looking for, like energy-wise, from another player, less talented, but more energy. And you using that as the vision for your player to say, that's what I'm looking for, young player. And then put him back in the game and see if he catch fire from what he's seeing.
That don't mean I put him back in the game. Because if the other player is rolling, that's me saying I don't coach effort. This kid is going out here playing hard, and he going out to do that. So you can take this as a lesson to you. But what I'm telling you is you ain't getting it done. You're not even competing and playing hard. Like I said, I'm not basing it off of you missing shots or that type of stuff.
Right.
Because the ball don't go in the basket every day. But there's a difference between competing out on the court, playing hard, playing on defense, sitting down on defense, trying to get steals, doing all types of stuff, playing hard.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Doing other things. If you're not playing hard, then you might as well go ahead. You got one of the best seats in the house, and you didn't have to pay for it. Go on and have a seat over there. I'm not even about to discuss it. I'm not going to be arguing or yelling at you, doing none of that. So you ain't playing hard today? All right, go ahead, have a seat over there. Next man up.
You don't got to play it.
And then if you see the next man playing hard, Yeah, I'll be able to tell if you antsy over there, like, yeah, I'm trying to get it, and then you get it, you do. If you don't, hey, this is where you're gonna be today. Go ahead, have this towel, and when you over here, you better cheer for him just as hard as he cheer for you when you on the court.
I ain't cheering for nobody. You got me over here on the bench, embarrassing me. I'm about to transfer, Jack. Put me on the bench behind this bum. He's sorry. I'm transferring.
So now I don't want you on the team anyway. Because if you ain't about this team, then and it's all about you. And if you wanted it about you, then be out there and play hard and do what it takes.
I see you on week 2 next year, Jack. I'm gonna drop 50 on y'all, flat out.
Oh, that's cool. And I'm gonna have somebody over here ready to
and
stop.
My new coach ain't gonna take me out.
Can we do for shits and giggles?
Absolutely.
What y'all think about that? Y'all don't even got no for shits and giggles, man. Let me tell you about my for shits and giggles. No. I'll tell you my for shits and giggles. This happened today, not long ago, really. Man, I went to a restaurant, and then I ordered some food, and I got a lemonade while I was waiting for my food to come. And then when I got the food came, and I said, "Oh, can I get a refill?" And he said, "Oh man," he said, "No, basically." I was so mad, bro. I was like, "What?" I'm like, "I've been coming here getting this same thing." He was like, "What you get?" I said, "Lemonade." He said, "Oh nah." I said, and charged me for a new lemonade, and I was so like annoyed by that, bro. I was pissed. I didn't say nothing or do nothing really. I just didn't like it, man. But then now I thought about it, and it's kind of funny. So
why wouldn't you look at it like you have been getting away with getting free refills?
I did say that. I said that. I said I've been getting it free. I said, but I said I need to be thankful for all those free times then, because you pay today. But I don't think that it's a policy, bro, because I've been to several different ones getting the same thing, and it's not that's my strategy, by the way. Oh, my jig is up. My strategy is to hurry up and drink it down and then get a refill before I leave, and it didn't work this time. You know, and I've been doing it all this time, and now it's over.
Do you know what's funny about that? You've been doing that forever.
Right.
You remember we used to go to UD and hoop up on the hill, and we'd go to that Sunoco to get them 49 cent or whatever big gulps.
Yeah.
He would dang near fill his up and dang near gulp it down before we left and fill it up again.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, bro?
Yes, I remember. I remember that we was hooping at UD on the hill. Yes. I do that. Man. I'm so thirsty, man. I'm serious.
He would damn near fill up a big gulp and drink it and then fill it back up.
Hold on, bro. Remy G used to have the best juice at his house. I'm talking about every time. Orange, baby. Bruh, his juice would be, and he had the biggest cups. I'd get the big, bruh. His cups was this big, bro. I would feel it drinks. Oh, the juice was so good at Cuz house.
My for shits and giggles. I don't know how much of it was for shits, but you know what I'm saying, it's definitely something that we can giggle about. And I know Pops is watching, so he probably gonna be like, "Oh, that's what y'all was up to." So I'm gonna say this, and it's more of the giggles of just exposing something from when we was younger. Bone, you remember when we would spend the night over Cuz house, and then we would all sneak up to Princeton and go play basketball.
Why did we do that at midnight? At midnight, man. Why would we
under
do
the
that?
lights?
If our kids did something like that, bro, we would be outraged, bro.
Man, the stuff, man. It was like we literally would wait till midnight to go and hoop at
13,
Princeton.
14.
Because the lights used to come on, and we thought we was doing something. We done call Los Knox up there, and everybody we meet up there and we'll be playing under the lights, sneaking out the house, going up there, because we said we stayed at Cuz house because it ain't no way I could have got away with getting up out of the house.
Right.
Over here.
Hey, Harvard, bro, we do anything we wanted, man. It was just lit.
That
Yeah,
and
so much fun.
one of
And
the
so
that'll
I'm
lead
here.
right into mine.
I'm here at Yale now with mom and pop, so I know pop's in there watching. So now he
Yeah,
gonna know
what up,
what we
man?
used to be doing. That every time we see it, because me and Bone couldn't get away with getting out the house that late, so we go over to Harvard, and anything went down, and we was up there playing basketball under the lights from 12 to 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Man, I don't know.
Mine
Yeah, what
stand with the theme of Harvard. I remember going. I don't know what I was thinking, man. I told my mom. I was like, she was like, I think it was my sophomore year. I went to grad night, and bro, you remember this, bro?
Tell me how
I
what
told my
happened?
mom. I told her I'm not coming home. She was like, "What?" I was like, "I ain't coming home. I'll see you in probably." I think I said Sunday, late Sunday. She was like, "What are you talking about? You nuts?" I was like, "I'll be over Todd's probably when I get done."
Yeah.
Man, my mom came over there and snatched me up out the crib
I remember that.
Saturday morning, and she made me walk home. She was
Oh,
like,
I remember.
"Man, she went
I
crazy."
remember that.
After grad
Right.
night, after
I
grad night,
remember. I remember that.
mommy
Like,
came
oh.
up over there. She was like, "You really don't think you lost your mind?" She was like, "Get up." She took
Yeah,
me to the front door.
yeah, she
Yeah,
did.
yeah, I
She
remember that.
did.
And before I'm thinking she gonna take me home. She made me walk. She just took off like, "You better." Yeah, she went nuts. She went nuts. I thought I was grown though. I was like, "Man, I ain't coming back home. I'll see you when I see you."
What?
She went nuts.
She like,
She was
man,
like, "What are
what?
y'all?" And she was like, "What are y'all doing over there?" And Reem is exactly. He's like, "Man, we going to bro's house, man. Can I spend the night?" That was the whole thing.
Man, that was
We
the
get over there,
best
it was out
stuff
of
in the
control.
world, bro.
Out of control.
We just
It
used to
seemed
be
like
playing
any
video
and
games and
everybody would
outside
somehow
hooping
end
for
up
real
over
though.
there, man.
Like that was and like eating pizza. That's all we did. Eat pizza, play video games, and hoop outside.
And play
And
ping
Yeah,
pong.
and do what, cuz?
Play ping pong in the
Oh, and play
basement.
ping
in the
pong, yeah.
Yep.
basement.
And-
All day, bro.
but I can't say that because we had that Nova going down the driveway quite a few times before anybody had a driver's license.
Man, oh my God, the Nova, the poor Nova. Man,
all giggles.
Ring got
Hold
he
on.
got his driver's license so quick, boy.
Who
As
did?
soon as he turned 16. Remy?
I do.
Oh,
Mhm.
man, how about playing? Yeah, man, it's so much with Harvard, man. We can't even talk about it. We played colors with one BB gun.
Man, we had the BB guns was crazy, bro. We played colors with the BB gun. Me and Doug was shooting each other. Micah shot me right in the ribs, man. Said he pumped he pumped it like at least like 10 times.
Remember that?
More than that. And put it
I
right in
remember
my
that.
ribs and shot me. And said, I didn't know it was one in there. I'm like, man, what? That was crazy.
I think you did the same thing and shot Dub in the butt, though. He was
I
laying in the
shot
living
Doug
room.
something like that too.
You
Yeah.
shot him in the butt.
And then
I remember that. Dub was ready to kill you.
I shot Dub way across. Like I was on one side of the fence and he was like behind the garage. And look, bro, I swear I shot a gun from like the BB from far distance. And in the sunlight, like I seen the BB fall, bro. I promise you. And it hit him right in the head. I remember that like it was yesterday. I said, "What? I seen it. I seen it hit you."
And close. So we close this out. I just want to say one last thing. This is why Cuz agrees with John Morant having guns.
From our color days, bro.
Yeah.
Funny playing colors.
What was wrong with us, man?
What's
Playing
going on?
colors. Who plays colors?
Playing colors. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification. We'll be back Thursday, right? We Thursday.
Yep. We had a preview for next week's football and prediction, and this time we taking we definitely keeping track of who voted for what, so we can make sure that we got an accurate score next Tuesday on the games. Because I don't think we were too accurate today.
I feel like I'm in the lead basically with.
That's why we're not going with what you're going with. We'll start next week.
All right, man. We love everybody. We'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Salute.